Welcome to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.
In a conference of chaos.
The ball comes out, touchdown. Vanderbilt takes down number 1 Alabama. Arkansas pulls the upset.
A constant remains. The third Saturday in October.
It's a tie game. Blocked. He got it.
Don't take this opportunity for good.
There is everything on the line.
It's time to cut it loose. In college football, the third Saturday in October means one thing: Alabama and Tennessee. You're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King from Mammoth Neyland Stadium. More than 101,000 on hand for one of the most important games in the 123-year history of this great rivalry. Number 7 Alabama and number 11 Tennessee in a huge game in the Southeastern Conference and with college football playoff implications as well. Sean McDonough with Greg McElroy and Molly McGrath. Each team 5-1 and 2-1 in conference play. Alabama won the toss, and Kalen DeBoer elected to receive the opening kickoff. Josh Turbeville will kick off. Kendrick Law and Cole Adams are back deep. Turbeville with a big leg, 37 touchbacks and 41 kickoffs. And this will be another touchback. So here comes Alabama on offense, led by Jalen Milroe, second-year starter, junior from Katy, Texas. The numbers very impressive. And Greg, 3 weeks ago, he was the toast of college football after an historic performance in their huge win against Georgia. But since then, he and his team been off their game.
They have. And last week was really kind of an uncharacteristic performance for Jalen Milroe. A couple of mental mistakes, things that he had not done all season long, to trying to bounce back in a big way against an elite defense for Tennessee.
They open in the pistol with Jam Miller, the running back. He'll alternate as the running back with Justice Haynes. Miller stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It's been a terrific defense for Tennessee so far this year. And Will Brooks came up from his safety spot to make the tackle.
It's going to be very important for Alabama to be efficient on first and second down. This Tennessee defense forces a lot of negative plays, and they're elite rushing the passer. So you have to avoid the obvious passing situations on third down.
Milroe dealing with deafening noise. Flag down, the ball came out, but the whistles have stopped the play. Ken Williamson is the referee leading this Southeastern Conference officiating crew.
Snap infraction.
Kalen DeBoer in his first year as Alabama head coach was riding high when they were 4-0, but he's come under criticism the last couple of weeks after the shocking loss at Vanderbilt and the very narrow home win against South Carolina. The play clock is not running, and Ken Williamson is making an announcement that I don't think anybody in this stadium can hear, including the clock operator.
Thank you.
We welcome those of you joining us on ABC to sold-out Neyland Stadium, and it is raucous to start the game. We played less than a minute, and already the crowd a big factor. Alabama and Tennessee on the third Saturday in October. Alabama receive the opening kickoff, and they have struggled. They're looking at 3rd down and 20. A couple of lost yardage plays and a 5-yard penalty for a false start. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. Jalen Milroe is the Alabama quarterback. Flushed from the pocket. Fires too high in the general direction of Emmanuel Henderson Jr. So the Tennessee defense, which has been one of the best in the country all season long, forces a 3-and-out to start the game. They have not given up more than 19 points in a game this year through 6 games.
A disastrous start for Alabama offensively. 2 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, a bobbled snap by Jalen Milroe, a false start. Just a terrible start on the road.
One of the best punters in the country, James Burnham. Not his best effort. It takes a good Alabama bounce, and Tennessee will start at the 39. These teams similar paths to get here. Won the first 3 games handily. Big wins in game 4. Alabama, that huge win over Georgia. Tennessee won at Oklahoma. But then a speed bump. The shocking loss for Bama at Vanderbilt. Tennessee lost at Arkansas. They bounced back with wins, but not satisfying to the fan base, as Alabama closer than expected win at home against South Carolina, hanging on at the end, and Tennessee had to go to overtime here to beat the Florida Gators.
And these are the sides of the ball that have struggled. Tennessee's offense very inconsistent, and Alabama's defense giving up a lot of big plays the last few weeks.
Nico Iamaleava, the redshirt freshman, first-year starting quarterback, throws a slant behind his intended receiver, Brew McCoy. There are the numbers. Of course, the first 4 games against lesser competition, Chattanooga, NC State, Kent State, and then Oklahoma. The last 2, the yards per game way down, and the sacks have been a huge issue. They like to go quickly. Dylan Sampson, the SEC's leading rusher, got 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Deontay lost on the stop.
And you can tell Nico Iamaleava, really a young quarterback, and you can always look at the quarterback's eyes to tell their comfort level. Starts on the left, scans back to the right, then goes back to the left before finally finishing on the right. He just looks unsure. His feet are not in sync. His eyes are not in sync. So Josh Heupel's got to really calm him down on a big stage today.
Short set, and that one's on target to McCoy. Chopped down with a 1st down inside the 40-yard line. A gain of 20, and Tennessee will run quickly to the ball.
And a great job by Nico Iamaleava, recognizing the dropout, waiting for that second window. He gets behind the Alabama defender and he throws a strike. That's a great start from the quarterback.
6'6", 215-pounder is Iamaleava. On the run, Dylan Sampson. The ball comes out at the end of the run. Alabama saying they have it, and the officials concur. Jahad Campbell recovered the Sampson fumble. That's the first lost fumble of his career.
Keon Sabb, a great tackle there, and as looks like Sampson spinning out, Malachi Moore is able to grab it and dislodge the football where there's a scrum, and Alabama ends up for it. That's 2 games in a row now where Tennessee has a promising offensive drive stalled because of a ball that hits the deck and a fumble. Just a big play there by Alabama's defense, but a critical mistake by Tennessee.
282 career rushes entering today's game for Dylan Sampson without a lost fumble. Second possession for the Crimson Tide. Milroe out of the gun. Fakes the handoff on the jet sweep. He's a terrific runner, and he gets collared just shy of the 25-yard line by Jeremiah Thielander, a linebacker. A gain of 7. Here's today's impact players, brought to you by the Home Depot.
It's not often you pick an offensive lineman, but Tyler Booker's the best guard in America. Ryan Williams, an incredible freshman phenom. James Pierce, the pass rusher, and Jermod McCoy matched up with Williams on the outside.
Alabama going quickly as well. Completion out in the flat to Jam Miller. He got taken down by Ricky Gibson. a cornerback for Tennessee. The ball marked about a half-yard short of the first down. Third down and a foot. Both teams substituting. And both running backs on the field for Alabama, Haynes and Miller. Under center, Milroe trying to get the Vols to jump. Play clock down to 3. They do snap it. He takes off running and got tripped up, or he had a lot of green grass ahead of him. Will Brooks might have saved a touchdown. Great call and beautifully executed.
And really nicely done by Jalen Milroe, recognizing that the left side is going to collapse, anticipating a surge right up the middle. Milroe finds it the outside, and if not for an incredible shoelace tackle by Will Brooks, he would have been to the house.
Brooks held it to a 9-yard gain. They're out to the 36 on the second possession of the game for Alabama. After the fake, incomplete pass to C.J. Dupree, one of their tight ends, a transfer from Maryland.
It will be so important for Alabama today in the offensive line to neutralize this Tennessee defensive front. They are really good across the board. They play as many as 12 guys on that defensive front, so not a lot of guys have a ton of snaps, so they're all fresh throughout the game. So expect Alabama to try to win on the perimeter with short passes and sweeps to the outside.
Milroe rolls to the right, running out of time, and it's incomplete off the hands of Ryan Williams, the great freshman from Mobile. Andre Turrentine, a safety, closest in coverage.
A big down here for Alabama. 3rd and 10 early in the game. They've really tried to make it a point of emphasis to avoid 3rd and long situations. It's a ferocious pass rush. Watch the right side of the offensive line. That's where Alabama's had some struggles in protection, and I would expect Tennessee to try to take advantage of that side all throughout the game.
The center, Brailsford's terrific, as are the left guard Tyler Booker and the left tackle Caden Proctor, all of them with All-American potential. Play clock down to the end again. And a flag thrown along the line of scrimmage, so not for a delay. Ken Williamson, we might be able to hear him this time as the crowd has calmed down after a frenetic start for this huge gathering.
Offside, by contact, defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Omar Norman Lott, who's had a fantastic season in the middle of that defensive line, but that's a miscue.
He's a highly important player. Alabama's right guard, Jaden Roberts, has had some challenges, so Norman Lott's going to be over him most of the game, and that's a matchup that Tennessee feels like they can take advantage of.
More manageable 3rd down now for Milroe, and the Tide from the 41-yard line. Blitz up the middle. It's picked up. Milroe resets and fires a strike for a first down. Ryan Williams the catch at the Volunteer 44-yard line.
And just a great job by Jam Miller meeting the linebacker right up the middle. They tried to blitz him. He picks it up, gives Milroe plenty of time, where he finally finds Williams working across the middle in man coverage. That was a nice throw and catch, but it wouldn't have happened if not for the terrific protection.
There are 2 Volunteers down after the play. Norman Lott at 107th meeting all time between Alabama and Tennessee. Dates back to 1901. It's been played on the 3rd Saturday of October since 1939. Alabama has dominated lately, winning 16 of the last 17. Tennessee had dropped 15 in a row to the Tide before they won here for Josh Heupel in 2022 in a wild 52-49 game. On a last-second field goal, the goalpost wound up in the Tennessee River. Quarterback draw, Jalen Milroe on 1st and 10. He got dropped by Jackson Moy. Down on the field, here's Molly McGrath.
Well, Sean, crowd noise is absolutely deafening down here when Alabama has the ball. Their quarterback, Jalen Milroe, is frustrated with his inability to communicate with his offensive line, saying, they can't hear me. He went over to that group on the sideline, said, stay calm. I got you. I will get us going. That's exactly what he's done with some crucial runs early.
They've been practicing with noise all week. Another flag and another crowd influence penalty, perhaps.
5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Having played here 3 times in 2006, 2008, 2010, this place is absolutely bonkers. It is so loud, so difficult to communicate. Talking to Kalen DeBoer this week, this is his first trip to Neyland, so maybe underestimating how loud it would be by forcing their quarterback to communicate so much here in the early going.
Interesting, put the offense on the field to start the game as well. On 2nd and 16, Milroe diving attempt, and it's incomplete. Intended for Ryan Williams. Their leading receiver is a true freshman. Had the huge game in the win over number 2 Georgia 3 weeks ago in Tuscaloosa when he had 177 receiving yards. And the scintillating 75-yard touchdown to win it with 2:18 to go. 177 yards receiving, second in Alabama history by a true freshman.
And there he is, lined up at the bottom against Jermod McCoy, but this is looking like a zone coverage for Tennessee.
David Bailey had 187 receiving yards against Auburn as a first-year player. And 69, his receiver slipped down. It was Williams again beyond the first down markers. But he slipped down on this natural grass field, and Milroe is now 2 out of 7 for 17 yards.
And he had him too. Williams breaking across the middle, zone coverage. And because the ball is thrown just a little bit behind him, Williams tries to stop, just can't. Feet go out from under him, and that's a missed opportunity there for the Tide.
There's James Burnip to punt for the second time. His 49th game as the Alabama punter. Tumbling punt and a fair catch made by Jermod McCoy. 36-yard punt. No score. Tennessee will be on offense for the second time on this glorious day when we come back.
The SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. You rule.
There's a lot of traditions in this rivalry, including since 1961, the winning team smokes cigars. Reagan Starner of R&R Cigars in Tuscaloosa is here. He's been the official cigar provider for the Tide since 2014, and they've smoked a lot of cigars. As we mentioned, they've lost only 1 game since then over the last decade. You told me something I didn't know about that cigar tradition.
What is that?
The backup quarterback is supposed to buy the cigars?
Back in the pre-NIL days, that was the way things worked. So yeah, I had to buy them for a few years, but man, what a great tradition, a special game to be a part of.
You weren't buying any of those really nice cigars like Reagan has, R&R. And Iamaleava's pass off the hands of Squirrel White. It was catchable, but Squirrel couldn't haul it in.
I had a sense that there were some players coming from the inside out. Man, you got to catch that for your quarterback. You got a young quarterback that's struggling, and he's been accurate so far today.
8 drops now for Squirrel White. Didn't extend the second hand trying to reel it in. Iamaleava dropped for a loss of 1 by LT Overton. It has been a slow starting, sorry Greg, Tennessee team taking on Kane Womack's defense today. They have not scored a point in the first half of either of their last 2 games against Arkansas and Florida. Deep throw, single coverage, and it's a stride too long. Looking for Chris Brazel, and the ball was just a bit too long out of the powerful arm of Iamaleava.
That's one that's just so frustrating for Tennessee fans and the Tennessee coaching staff. I mean, if you underthrow it, you give your receiver a chance to go up and make a play, maybe draw a PI, but overthrowing it, which has happened multiple times the last few weeks, it's just something you can't do. So got to take a little off those deep balls.
Monty Jackson had the coverage. Jackson Ross. And And the return by Cole Adams, who managed, it seems, to stay in bounds along the far sideline. 50-yard punt and a nice return of 16 by Adams. His longest punt return of the season.
And it looked like, man, that left foot was so close. Ooh, that right foot did it.
Oh, he's out of bounds
right
back
there.
Yeah.
It looked like around the 40. Probably going to take a look at that. It looked like that right foot was really, really close to the sideline. It was great effort, but not sure if he was able to tightrope it the whole way.
Well, for the moment, they're marking the ball at midfield, but it does seem as though the officials are using their headset communication. So they'll snap it from the Tennessee 49. Justice Haynes in at running back. And I think the officials stopped that for a closer look at the.
Out of bounds at the spot of the snap. The previous play is under review.
Yeah, the officials almost waited too long. John Almond is the replay official today. He and this crew were kept very busy last Saturday night in the Ole Miss game at LSU. That's the 40-yard line he's approaching now. Perhaps still in bounds there, but I think it's the next stride or two where he goes out.
That's the one that looks really, really close, and the left one isn't out there as well. And remember, you have to have inconclusive or conclusive video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. So is there enough based on those two angles to see if he's out?
Well, at the very least, it looked like that last step was clearly out and at his own 49-yard line instead of the plus 49. So at the very least, Kalen DeBoer's team, I think, is going to lose 2 yards of field position. How quickly it can turn, Greg, and you played at Alabama and still live down there. Kalen DeBoer 3 weeks ago, the toast of college football. Huge win in one of the great games that many people have ever seen against Georgia. But then they lose to Vanderbilt, a shocker, and he has taken a lot of heat in the last couple of weeks.
A lot. And I think people have this expectation that Alabama, after losses, they come out angry and they just dominate the competition. That's not entirely true. There have been several times where teams have had to play their way through challenging stretches, like last year. Alabama struggled times in October, and then in November they were playing their best football. So I think just learning his team, a lot of new players, a lot of young players, but they have been inconsistent in performance, and when the expectation is as high as it is for the Alabama Crimson Tide, he is going to come under criticism being the newest member of that team.
All new systems, these players are learning, and you saw the record. He has just about as incredible a record as I've ever seen by almost every standard. The overall record in 10 years as a head coach is 109-13, with 3 national titles in 5 years at his alma mater, Sioux Falls.
After further review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the Alabama 48.5-yard line. If that spot will be first down.
And so they bring it back about 3 yards. He said 48.5. And how about that number? 13-2 against the top 25. That started at Fresno State. He lost his first game against a ranked team when he was at Fresno to Oregon, then won 12 in a row before Washington lost to Michigan in the national championship game last year. Then, of course, the 13th win was against Georgia, then ranked number 2 earlier this season. He is a great coach.
I think his personality lends itself too, because he's so easygoing that his team plays very loose in big environments.
So the ball back at their own 48.5, single coverage near side, and the ball thrown out of bounds in the direction of Ryan Williams with Jacoby Thomas in coverage. Jalen Milroe said he loves playing for Kalen DeBoer. He enjoyed his time with Coach Saban, but he said after those years of playing for a defensive-minded coach, it's been fun to play for an offensive background head coach.
I think he's definitely empowered Jalen. He's played very confident football as well.
Williams got blasted in the back, but he held on at the 35-yard line. Took a sturdy hit from Jermod McCoy.
And this is a big collision. Boom! Right there by Jermod McCoy. They believe that they can be physical with Ryan Williams. He's an excellent deep threat and is always a threat to go the distance, but he hasn't really faced a super physical secondary, and Jermod McCoy making his presence felt there after the catch.
And he's just 175 pounds, Williams. The flip goes to Kendrick Law. He's inside the 20 and chopped down at the 15-yard line. Perhaps another touchdown-saving tackle by Will Brooks. It's a 20-yard pickup.
And a great job, too, out in front. Watch Robbie Oots, the big tight end at 275 pounds, securing the edge and pancaking a Tennessee defender. Just great use of misdirection there. And I love, if you're a quarterback, seeing a completion like that and it gets out the gate.
And it goes as a pass. The flip forward, just the third catch of the year by Law, the junior from Shreveport. Alabama on the move at the Tennessee 15. Plenty of time for Milroe. Catching the flat by Justice Haynes. And he's taken down again by Will Brooks, the fifth-year senior who's from Alabama, from Birmingham, out of Vestavia Hills High School.
He's got a lot on his plate today for sure. And in this part of the field, 10-yard line, first and second down, this is where Alabama really likes to utilize Jalen Milroe's legs. If you look at their last 9 red zone carries, 8 of them have been by their quarterback. So anticipate quarterback run here if you're Tennessee's defense.
Yeah, they love it with this empty situation. Tight ends bunch to the left end of the line. Milroe stopped for a loss. They knew that quarterback run was coming out of that formation. Jacoby Thomas took down Milroe for a 5-yard loss.
And a great job right here on the edge. And you see he just kind of slows up Booker, who's trying to pull out and around, and he can't get there as a result of the way the edge defender collisioned the guard. Just a great play and sniffing out the Bama tendency as well.
So 3rd and 10. 5 minutes to go in a scoreless first quarter. Milroe given a nice pocket again over the middle, caught, and it is a first down for Justice Haynes. Arion Carter, the linebacker, made the tackle. They're playing without their leading tackler, defensive leader Keenan Peely, out with a knee injury. Haynes stacked up as he tried to go up the middle. Omar Norman Lott stuffed him after a gain of 1.
And Tennessee showing zero pressure on that 3rd down, where everybody is blitzing overload. They're able to get the running back out, working against the end man on the line of scrimmage. He breaks inside. It's a perfectly designed play by Kalen DeBoer and offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan, taking advantage of the pressure look from Tennessee.
There's Peely, 7th-year player, spiritual leader in addition to being a terrific linebacker, but they like their talent in the game. Milroe intercepted along the near sideline. Jermod McCoy across midfield. Terrible interception thrown by Milroe. And a 54-yard return by the transfer from Oregon State.
And Jermod McCoy is so good with his eyes. Man coverage with Williams. He looks inside immediately. One-hand snag and reels it in. That could not be played better by the cornerback. You see how he located the ball immediately, was able to time his jump at the exact same time as the wide receiver, and he reels it in, and he's off to the races. Just a tremendous play, and you can see it from the progressive pylon cam. Outstanding.
Milroe shaking his head. That's been a problem lately. Mistakes, self-inflicted wounds, deflected pass, flutters incomplete, batted out of the air by Jihad Campbell. There is also a flag. It was a great play by McCoy, but what about the decision by Milroe? That looked like it had no chance.
Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
John Campbell Jr., the right tackle, called for the penalty.
I don't have a problem throwing it on a second inside the 5. Don't love the decision to throw it on a back shoulder when the defensive back is really good using his eyes. If anything, I'm going to work the other side. I don't want to work Jermod McCoy because I've seen on tape multiple times this week where he makes plays on the ball because of how physical he is at the line of scrimmage, and then he can play the ball in the air.
McCoy thought about going down in the end zone and saw all that running room ahead of him on the delay. Deshaun Bishop is the backup to Dylan Sampson. He's done a good job when he's been called upon. Bishop averaging just under 7 yards per carry on 48 totes prior to today. He got 7 on that one. Iamaleava, man breaking free in the air, mailed him again. That was a touchdown if it was on target to Squirrel White.
Man, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, as a quarterback, you got to keep throwing them, keep taking your chances, keep trying over and over and over again. But these misses, even dating back to last year with Joe Milton, how many misses he had in this offense. Guys are open. You got to hit them. All it takes is one, though, and it can completely flip your confidence level. But a huge miss by Nico.
And we talked to both coaching staffs yesterday about their recent struggles. They both said we're so close, and we've seen it already. A couple of misses by Iamaleava. Interception thrown by Milroe. Here's a flag. It was intended for Dante Thornton Jr. Jalen Mbakwe had the coverage and is likely going to be called for pass interference. True freshman from Clay, Alabama.
Massive, massive play.
Pass interference, defense number 9. Penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul and includes an automatic first down.
Just massive. 3rd and 13. And the freshman Mbakwe, very clear. Early arrival on the slant. You have blitz coverage. You know that the ball's coming out really quickly, but the freshman makes a critical error, and Alabama's been penalized so many times this year. It is beyond frustrating for this coaching staff, and many times too, Sean, on 3rd down that continues to extend drive. 3rd down for Alabama has been a real problem.
That gives Tennessee the first down. Bishop bounced inside, got very little. LT Overton in on the tackle for Alabama. Gain of 1. Getting off the field on 3rd down has been a huge problem the last couple of weeks for the Tide when they've struggled. Iamaleava, that one's incomplete. Broken up by Domani Jackson, the transfer from USC, who's had a terrific start to his Alabama career.
He's been outstanding, the veteran presence there in the back end. And Alabama has done a pretty good job so far on 1st and 2nd down, forcing Tennessee to play 3rd and long. And here, if you're Josh Heupel, defense has played decent, might have 2 downs to get it. So I'm not against running the football here with your running back if you have a favorable look, because you might go for it on 4th down.
Can Alabama get off the field? The last 2 games, their opponents, Vanderbilt and South Carolina, have converted 57.6 on 3rd down, 19 for 33. This 3rd down is stopped about 3 yards short of the marker. Dante Thornton tackled by Keon Sabb, and Josh Heupel is going to send the field goal team out.
I know the Tennessee fan base not happy with that, but I don't hate the call. I mean, you got a big body wide receiver one-on-one. You think maybe he can make a guy miss and you could be out the game.
This will be a 53-yard attempt for Max Gilbert, redshirt freshman in his first year as their kicker. He's missed only once. And that was from 53 against NC State. He's now missed twice from 53. Wide right, what little breeze there was and was at his back on this 72-degree day in East Tennessee. Close, but no cigar. Still no score. Each team with a good chance on their last possession. Jalen Milroe threw an interception in the end zone going in. Tennessee just missed a 53-yard field goal. That's 12 straight first-half possessions without scoring a point now for the Vols. Back to the Oklahoma game. 3 weeks ago. Jalen Milroe with Jam Miller, the running back. He gets the call. Good bounce outside to the left, and a quality first down gain out across the 43-yard line. They'll give him 7.
So much of Alabama's rushing attack has come from Jalen Milroe all season long, but they feel pretty good about how the offensive line is progressing in the traditional run looks, and that was a nice surge there.
Ryan Williams, 6th time he's been targeted, most in a quarter this year. And a 5-yard gain there for an Alabama first down as we approach a minute to go in this first quarter.
That was a well-timed throw by Jalen Milroe. The ball is out and en route before Ryan Williams turns around. But you can see they are making it a real point of emphasis to play very physical with the freshman.
Having a great start to his career. He asked him if he's exceeded his own expectations. He said no, he had very high expectations for himself. Tennessee was offside there. Movement right over the center, Brailsford.
Offside. Defense number 21. The movement by the defense caused the offense to react. Could lose 5 yards. It remains first down.
It's interesting. Williams had high expectations. You wonder what the coach's expectations were. When he got to Tuscaloosa in the preseason, Ryan Williams was on the practice field with the threes. Not even with the second team, but didn't take long, a couple of weeks before he started turning heads. And Jalen Milroe eventually said to the coaches, hey, this guy needs to stay on the field with the ones. He's never going back with the 2s or 3s. Back shoulder throw over the head of Ryan Williams. What a likable young man he is, too. For all the success that's happened right out of the gate, he has taken it all in stride with a great humility, at least in our chat.
Special. I mean, it's just, sometimes you can just tell the way he carries himself. You just know bright things are coming for that young man at the college level, and then ultimately at the professional level. He's one of one right now with his ability to track the ball and the polish that he plays with as a freshman.
And this is the longest in any game he's played in that they've gone without the announcers mentioning that he's only 17 years old. In trouble, Jam Miller dropped for a big loss. Back into Alabama territory to the 47. Omari Thomas, who was offside a moment ago, atoned for that, dropping that for a 7-yard loss. They won't have to snap it again here in the first quarter, and it doesn't look like they're going to. Kalen DeBoer telling his offense to come over to the sideline.
This Tennessee front is just relentless. Just when you think you're in a good spot, they somehow find a way to get you in a 3rd and long.
No score after a quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Coach, you just spent some time talking to Jalen Milroe. What did you say to him before this 3rd and 12?
Just some things we always talk about as far as, ball placement and decision making and things like that. So, we just got to keep playing ball. Each play is its own play.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
They controlled the ball in the first quarter, had it for over 11 minutes, ran twice as many plays as the Vols, and first play of the second quarter is 3rd down and 12 from their own 47. Williams is clearly their #1 target. Looked like the motion man might have been going up the field early. Pass incomplete, and there's a flag. It's intended for Cole Adams with Boo Carter in coverage. True freshman. Ken Williamson not aware of the flag, and now he is.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
A big mistake there by the freshman. Cole Adams does look like he's starting upfield a little bit there. Might have gotten away with one, but as he's working across, it looks like Carter grabs him with that left hand to slow down Adams and to allow him to recover a little bit. So a good call by the official, but a big mistake. Another 3rd and long converted because of a penalty by one of these two defenses.
Already 4 penalties against the Volunteers. 2 tight ends on the field now for Alabama from the Tennessee 33. On the delay, Jam Miller made the first man miss and then got tackled inside the 35 after a 4-yard gain by Caleb Perry.
That part of the offense is going to be so important for Alabama throughout this game because of how good that pass rush is. You have to be able to run right at them. They have really disruptive guys, but Alabama's really, their run game's been super inconsistent outside of Jalen Milroe, so getting it in more traditional looks will be really beneficial to kind of calm down that Tennessee defensive front.
Tennessee was still getting set. Milroe didn't have anything, so he pulled it down and runs for another first down. 8 yards on the run for Jalen Milroe. Boo Carter, the tackle. His penalty was huge.
And a great decision there by Jalen Milroe. Unblocked defender blitzing off the right. That was Arion Carter, and he takes off to the left. Last week, Alabama and Jalen Milroe tried to buy too much time. He retreated in the pocket. That time he attacked the line of scrimmage and became a runner and was able to convert a first down.
First and 10. Opening minute and a half of the second quarter. And a timeout called by Alabama with the play clock running down.
Timeout. Alabama. First timeout this half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
So a timeout. I don't know if it was because the play clock was close. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy. You know, watching this Alabama team on TV prior to today and on tape preparing for this game, you know, my question to you as somebody who's around the Alabama program all the time, in addition to Ryan Williams, after Ryan Williams, who's a true freshman, you know, who's the next wide receiver you can really count on? And these two running backs, Haynes and Miller, are very nice players, but to me, they don't look like the great running backs that Alabama's had in the past. So, you know, as you're judging Kalen DeBoer and the 5-1 record right now, not as many playmakers, to me at least, as we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, the personnel, based on Alabama's standards, is not necessarily at the same level, particularly within the weapons. And Jeremy Bernard is a really solid wide receiver, but he's not a guy at this point in his career that's going to take over the game. And the running backs kind of in the same boat. So they're all very solid, but one outside of Williams is really yet to emerge.
And again, solid tight ends, but not that guy who's going to get you the big catch in the red zone or on third down. Here is Jeremy Bernard breaking tackles and out of bounds near the 5. Andre Turrentine prevented the touchdown. Bernard's a nice player, but last year at Washington, he was their 4th wide receiver behind some really talented guys. But their 4th wide receiver nonetheless. 21-yard gain. Miller, the running back. Milroe for Williams. This time they complete it. A juggling catch for a touchdown with Ricky Gibson in coverage.
Well, we suggested it earlier. Jermod McCoy's so good with his eyes, you might want to work the other side. This time they do. It's Ricky Gibson in coverage. He doesn't locate the football. There's a nice route by Ryan Williams to give himself just a little bit of time and create just enough separation for Alabama to put some points on the board. It was a good decision by Milroe to work the left.
Graham Nicholson for the extra point transfer from Miami, Ohio. And it's 7-0. So it's a touchdown drive. 8 plays, 64 yards, helped by the pass interference on a 3rd down and 12. Milroe, his 13th touchdown pass of the year, and the 7th caught by Williams. This is the start of a great SEC on ABC doubleheader. We're finished here in Knoxville. A top 5 matchup, 7:30. Number 5 Georgia, number 1 Texas. Saturday night football presented by Capital One. Texas 6-0, Georgia 5-1. Texas playing in a first top 5 matchup since 2008. They took on the then number 1 Oklahoma team. Connor Talty's kickoff returned by Cameron Selden. And he's wrestled down short of the 20. Here's Molly McGrath.
Sean, Alabama's defensive back Devontae Smith was riding the exercise bike in visible pain. Athletic training staff took him to the medical tent. He's still in there. He spent a lot of time getting his right hamstring massaged and tended to. I'm told Smith and DB Red Morgan both questionable to return, and Kalen DeBoer stressed to us their secondary is already thin, and it's getting thinner, guys.
They are really beat up in the back end. And if you look at Devontae Smith, super important there on the edges of the defense.
Can Tennessee get anything done in the first half? Nothing there for Dylan Sampson. Tim Keenan stuffed it. They've had one play of more than 10 yards so far. Talking about the Vols, that was a 20-yard play by Sampson, and then he fumbled and lost it. Nico Iamaleava, wide open receiver. Ethan Davis, tight end, to the 30-yard line, and there's a flag. Crowd thinks that Iamaleava was roughed, and they're right.
Defense number 90, 15-yard penalty from in the run, automatic first down.
Jordan Renaud, the redshirt freshman from Sarasota.
Looked like he won inside, but he just continued on and throws Nico Iamaleava to the ground, and that's a good call by the official. I mean, it's not crazy vicious, but it's unnecessary. So just a poor decision there by Renaud, who'd started to see his playing time increase these last couple weeks.
Nico Iamaleava's parents, Iamaleava family from Southern California. Nico is the third eldest of 8. He gave it to Dylan Sampson, and that's why he wears the number 8. One of 8 children. They have another quarterback on the way, younger son Madden. Nico told us yesterday he's just committed to play at UCLA. Out of Long Beach Poly, Nico throws as he was getting taken to the ground. Apparently was backward, scooped up and advanced past the marker by Dylan Sampson. Iamaleava is still down, and for the moment they're marking the ball at the 41-yard line.
The gain is nice, and it was an opportunistic and smart play by Sampson, but man, this is potentially terrible for Tennessee. Nico Iamaleava moving over and gets tackled to the ground, and you see his body just kind of contort back just a little bit.
And it was Justin Jefferson making the tackle. I think his knee's down, the ball's still in his hand. And I would guess the replay will take a look at that, and they'll bring that one back. All eyes on Iamaleava, still being tended. While we were away, Nico Iamaleava walked gingerly off the field right into the medical tent, injured on this sack, and they have brought the ball back to that spot. His head hit the ground very hard. He was grabbing at his back, as you can see, his lower back, shortly after hitting the ground. So he's out, and the new quarterback is Gaston Moore.
Gaston Moore has been in this offense for a really long time, and a tough spot to be thrust in here, 3rd and 9 against this pass rush, but he's very comfortable in this offense.
Throws deep into coverage, and his first throw of the afternoon is intercepted by Malachi Moore with a lot of running room across the field. Still on his feet and out of bounds near the 35. And Gaston Moore chased him out. Moore's first throw right into the game is a deep throw into double coverage. Picked off by Moore, and he brought it back 44 yards.
And he can clearly feel the heat off the left-hand side from Quay Rousseau. Moore escapes, kind of throws a fadeaway jumper, but that's about as easy as it gets for Malachi Moore. And as a backup quarterback, you haven't warmed up, you haven't thrown any passes, you're thrust into a difficult situation. You just potentially make a critical mistake for the Tennessee offense. It just can't happen for a guy that's in his 5th year.
Second Tennessee turnover. Malachi Moore's 6th career interception, a grad student, one of the best safeties in the country. 6 career INTs. But that's just his second in the last 3 seasons. He had 3 as a freshman in 2020. Only 1 in the last 3 seasons. It was last year at South Florida. They're in business at the Vols, 36, already up 7-0. Jalen Milroe handed it off to Justice Haynes. To the 32 for a gain of 4 on first down for the sophomore from Buford, Georgia.
Bama's been pretty methodical so far and just staying committed to the run game. They haven't really manufactured a lot of big plays. That's where their offense thrives. But you got to think they're going to continue to be patient, and those safeties start to get greedy. That's when they'll take a shot downfield.
Liam Maliava is warming up on the sideline. All day to throw by Milroe. He's been given good time today, and that throw's too high. Yeah, Justice Haynes open on the sideline. There is a flag down, thrown by the center judge. Holding call against Alabama. Ken Williamson asking Josh Heupel what he wants to do.
Probably want to take that, though, because of possibility of field goal range.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. We take second down.
Caden Proctor, the enormous left tackle, listed at 6'7", 369 pounds, sophomore.
He's engaged forever with Dominic Bailey on the left side. And Milroe holds it for a long time, and he just, as he's falling back, grabs the jersey. It's a good call.
So they're likely out of field goal range here. Milroe, just a 4-man rush. Justice Haynes open again along the sideline. Jamad McCoy there to take him across the boundary. Just a 2-yard pickup.
As a quarterback here, you're really thinking, how do I make this field goal more manageable? Because at this point, hey, if a guy pops downfield, no problem. What you can't do, you absolutely cannot take a sack, because that eliminates the decision-making process for your head coach. So you got to get the ball out and find a favorable matchup, which is always number 2, Ryan Williams.
Nicholson's tried only 2 field goals this season. He has a career long of 52 at Miami of Ohio. Play clock running out. It has expired. Well, both coaches talked about self-inflicted wounds in recent weeks, and we've seen some on both sides today. 6 Alabama penalties and 4 against Tennessee. Now that one is certainly something that shouldn't have happened.
Tennessee lined up that time in what looked like all-out pressure look. Now let's see if maybe they show that all-out pressure look and then drop out, because 3rd and 20 is not one where you want to be blitzing the house.
Milroe, play clock down to 5. Play clock at 1. He didn't get, well, the official, the back judge started to reach for the flag and then stopped. Milroe pressured and threw it away. Dominic Bailey put the pressure on. They were just about to get flagged again. The back judge, Keith Parham, put his whistle to his mouth, started toward the line of scrimmage. And there is a flag at the end of the play. Oh my goodness.
Penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul and includes a loss of down. Now 4th down.
Jalen DeBoer and Jalen Milroe probably would have loved to have had a delay of game then. But tick 1-0, and yes, that should have been a delay of game. As a result, the offense is just completely discombobulated on the left-hand side of the offensive line. Tyler Booker never gets out of his stance, and Milroe has no choice but to just get rid of the football.
Well, having participated in the officiating exercise of the Georgia spring game, and you've been there as well, Steve Shaw, national coordinator officials, brings media members down. I was a back judge, and one of the things I learned, if in doubt, if it's close, the offense gets the benefit of the doubt in that situation. So I think it was a good no flag, as it was very hard to judge.
I'm just proud of you for remembering the mechanics.
That's all I remember. Burnham's punt goes into the end zone. It's also very hard because you have to look up if you're the back judge at the play clock, and you also have to try to judge when the ball snapped, and you're looking through a lot of bodies to see that football at field level. So the crowd trying to implore the Tennessee offense, which has been stagnant now for a couple of weeks, and Nico Iamaleava is coming back in.
And that's a relief for Nico's parents as they look on, and all of Vol Nation, because their backup quarterback situation, as evidenced by the mistake made a moment ago, and the interception that Gaston Moore threw that was egregious, their backup quarterback situation not very good.
Iamaleava is 3 out of 8 for 37 yards. High throw, good catch. Brew McCoy dragging tacklers, refusing to go down, and finally they get the whistle for the stoppage of the forward progress after an 18-yard gain.
I think Brew McCoy needs to be more of a featured player in this offense. He's big, he's reliable, and he catches almost everything.
They go quickly, and it's Iamaleava, who can really run. He's a long strider at 6'6". Here's Molly.
Well, Sean, Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava was clutching his left side in pain in their injury tent. I'm told it's his left hip that was injured. You saw him warming up. He looked a little bit rattled, but told teammates, "I'm okay."
He goes to a play action pass here, and a diving catch made. Chris Brazzell transfer from Tulane, where he started 8 games last year. They're at the 43 and going quickly. It's a 17-yard gain. Finally a little life in this Volunteer offense. Cameron Seldon had just 7 carries all year entering today. My question would be, where's Dylan Sampson for this offense? Just 5 carries so far in this first half.
He needs to get a lot more because he's by far their best player, but this offensive drive, finally a little rhythm for the Tennessee offense.
He's not even on the field, Sampson. Molly's checking on that. Iamaleava throws, caught. Brew McCoy again. Out of bounds inside the 20.
Sean, Tennessee running back Dylan Sampson was just in their injury tent. I'm told he has a lower body injury, but they do expect him to return.
All right, Molly, thank you. They're in the red zone for the first time today. 23-yard gain. Iamaleava running out of time. Hit as he throws. Intercepted. Another huge mistake. Q Robinson delivered the hit. Jalen Mbakwe picked it off.
Great pass rush, terrible decision, and Alabama's defense stands up again with another turnover. Take a look at the interception from the AT&T Connected cam. Nico Iamaleava makes a terrible decision. I mean, he rolls out, his quarterback spy, his eyes are all over the place, he's rolling, doesn't like it. You have double coverage by Alabama right here. Double covered out here in the flat and over the top. This ball needs to go into the band, and Nico doesn't. As a result, it's tipped up and intercepted, and Alabama has another big turnover.
First career interception by the true freshman, Jalen Mbakwe. On first down from their own 12, Jam Miller for Alabama.
Just a tough situation. Tennessee now 3 turnovers. Nico feeling it a little bit. That left hand, see a little grimace on his face. Can't make careless decisions.
Just his 8th career start. Still learning as he goes, but by now he should know better than that. As you said, throw it away. Ryan Williams the catch, 2 yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Big down here for Tennessee's defense. Quarterback makes a critical mistake. Now you have a chance to get off the field in the 3rd 3-and-out situation and get it back to your offense with decent field position. So imperative here for Tennessee that they are really strong along the line of scrimmage.
3 out of 6 on 3rd down. Came in at 44.7% for the year. Milroe with pressure coming. Runs away. Throws on the run. Broken up by Jermod McCoy. He was pressured by James Pierce, who has not been much of a presence. Preseason first team All-American. And he chased Milroe.
In a tough spot for the left tackle, Caden Proctor. He's trying to get both of them. He misses both. It forces Milroe to roll to his right, where he tries to execute a scramble drill, and he can't. That was really well defended by Tennessee's defense, and it was huge for them to get that 3 and out.
Their second straight and the third for the Alabama offense today. James Burnip to punt. So 3 Tennessee turnovers, but Alabama won't convert any of them into points. Their touchdown came after a missed Tennessee field goal. Let's take a look at coverage where it counts, presented by T-Mobile.
Turnovers have been the story. Dylan Sampson, the best player on the team, fumbles on the opening drive. It was promising, and he coughs it up. Then the backup quarterbacks thrust in because Nico gets hurt. He throws a careless pick, just an awful decision that's returned by Malachi Moore, and then Nico takes his turn, tries to throw it to double coverage. When the pursuit was on, it's intercepted with ease. Just 3 massive mistakes for Tennessee as this offense continues to struggle in the first half.
No first half points in their only loss of the season at Arkansas, none last week against Florida. They rallied back to win in overtime. Dylan Sampson back on the field, just his 6th carry. For the leading rusher in the SEC coming in, 116.5 yards per game, 9th best in the country. And 15 rushing touchdowns, most through the first 6 games of a season by any player in SEC history. And it's quite a history. Keon Sabb is injured. Those are the numbers entering today. 6 straight games with a touchdown coming in for Sampson, a junior from Baton Rouge, where he broke a lot of Eddie Lacy's high school rushing records.
Sampson's just been incredible for this Tennessee offense. And Keon Sabb, the transfer from Michigan, young man's been playing hurt really all season long, and there is a possibility that, you know, he isn't really able to practice all the time throughout the week, but just continues to give it a go every single Saturday for this team. But he's in a big collision here, and that right foot rolls just a little bit, and he goes to the ground as he's been nursing an injury.
I guess I could ask you the same question about Tennessee I asked about Alabama. Where are the stud wide receivers as we've seen in recent years for Tennessee? Yeah. Who's the go-to guy?
There really isn't one, and they've all been a little banged up. I mean, they are rock solid. Brew McCoy's rock solid. Squirrel White's got great speed. Thornton, I think, if he can get healthy, he's got a chance to become a #1. But they've been getting open. It's really been more about the inaccuracies and the issues in protection. It's not really been the receivers as much.
Defense number 11. A movement by the defense caused the offense to react. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
But you're right, Sean. I mean, there isn't a Jalen Hyatt in this Tennessee receiving core right now that just scares you to death.
Cedric Tillman among the draft choices in recent years. Josh Palmer, go back to 2020. Jawan Jennings, who's having a really nice NFL career. As you said, it's a good group. There are those drafted since 2021, and Jennings in 2020. Niamaliava flagged down as he threw it, thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Well, we saw it last week and we're seeing it again today. This crew not afraid to throw the penalty flags around. This will be the 13th assessed penalty if it is accepted. Dante Thornton Jr. the catch. He came up about a yard short of the first down if the play stands.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 50. 15-yard penalty, into the run, automatic first down.
Tim Smith.
He's working against the left guard, Andre Carrick. Left guard's head pushing all the way back as Tim Smith, defensive end, defensive tackle, guy can play inside and out. Getting that hand a little bit too high. Another critical mistake from Alabama, just gifting yardage by way of penalty.
Big walk-off down to the 35-yard line. Well, Alabama, huge edge, 2-1 edge in time of possession. Josh Heupel's team still down just 7-0. And moving with now under 5 minutes to go in the half. Sampson stopped at the 32 by Deontay Lawson, one of the best linebackers in the country. Sampson again in trouble and stopped at the line of scrimmage. They don't go as fast as they used to, Greg. You know, this was one of the fastest teams in the country at snapping the ball. Much slower this year. They still want to go fast, but with a young quarterback. They're also seeing some defensive looks that they haven't seen in the past. They're about 5 seconds slower per snap this year. That one's batted down. Tim Keenan, the pressure in the middle of that defensive line. And let's see what Josh Heupel will do. They'll try another long field goal.
Good job by Tim Keenan working through 2 Tennessee Volunteers, Cooper Mays and Javontes Spraggins. He somehow able to get that hand up and knock it down. That's a great play.
There's Gilbert, the redshirt freshman from Memphis. Now 11 out of 13 with his miss from 53. Both misses have been 53-yarders. This is 50 with no breeze at all. And wide right again. The natives are restless. They still can't score in the first half. Now they're about to go 0 for the first half in 3 games in a row. They're 4-0-6 away from it. Kick off your NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The Countdown crew at ESPN and the app. All the early breaking stories, injury updates, previews of every game right up to kickoff, and then put a cap on Week 7 with another Monday Night Football doubleheader. At 7:15 on ESPN and ABC, the Baltimore Ravens and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then at 8, exclusively on ESPN Plus, the Chargers in the beautiful Valley of the Sun to take on the Cardinals. Jalen Milroe dumps it off. C.J. Dippre, the tight end, up and over and out of bounds with a gain of 7 on first down.
This is going to be important for Nick Sheridan to continue to do. This is a really good defensive front. The offensive line's hung in there pretty good, but they got to move the pocket and change the launch point for Jalen Milroe by getting him outside the tackles.
Straight ahead, Justice Haynes, first down. Alabama 2 timeouts left as we approach 3.5 minutes to go. Tennessee is all 3 in the half.
I think Kalen DeBoer is already thinking at this point, hey, Tennessee gets the ball. Want to make sure, knowing just how fast that offense can execute, you're really mindful about the clock in this situation. Then if you're Josh Heupel, you start thinking about, hey, at what point do I start maybe thinking about using some timeouts, see if I can steal a possession.
Milroe faked in one direction and ran into James Pierce for a loss of 3, the junior from Charlotte.
Great job by Pierce, dislodging, forcing Milroe up and getting a piece of him, dropped for the sack.
Milroe, good pocket over the middle, caught near the first down marker by Jeremy Bernard. And the officials signaling it is a first down at the Volunteer 46.
That's a big league throw by Jalen Milroe right there. Over the middle, a lot of traffic. That's a throw he probably would have avoided last year, but just shows you the progress he's made under Kalen DeBoer and this coaching staff being really confident attacking the middle of the field in the intermediate portion of the field as well.
James Pierce is down on the field.
Zone coverage across the board. You see those linebackers part. You try to feed it right there. The safety, Will Brooks, almost is able to arrive. He's just a half step slow, and that's big time too by Jeremy Bernard, knowing contact is coming. Go up, secure the catch, brace for contact, and reel it in for another first down.
Certainly got the benefit of a good spot to just barely pick up the first down. Pierce walking over. to the sideline. Seems to be fine. Well, let's go back and look at this spot.
It's currently right now on the 46-yard line. It looks like it's about right. It's pretty close. The yellow line is unofficial, but it does appear like that spot seems pretty good.
Yeah, too hard to overturn, certainly. As close as it was.
Last week, Alabama really made a mess of the final 2 minutes of the first half with some critical mistakes that allowed South Carolina to really get back in the game. They talked about it all week long, made sure that situational awareness is emphasized.
And here's a situational awareness right now you just talked about. Don't snap the ball. They don't have to, right? You don't want to give Tennessee time. You have time. You're plus field position. You have 2 timeouts. And it doesn't look like they're going to come out of the huddle.
100%. And this is improvement from 1 week to the next. And clearly the coaches and the players have taken to really focusing at a higher level here in these critical moments and the waiting moments.
Alabama celebrating. They've had the edge in play, but the lead still just 7-0. You're watching the SEC on ABC from Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. Alabama with an edge in play, better than 2-1 in time of possession. They're +2 in turnover margin, but the lead just a tenuous 7 points. They have 1st and 10 at the 46, and there's a false start against Alabama. We're at the 2-minute stoppage.
Offense number 74, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Caden Proctor, one of the reasons why it's only 7-0. That's their 10th penalty of the half for 73 yards.
Just so brutal, especially the mental mistakes like false starts and illegal snaps.
They're on their own 49. Justice Haynes on the left hip of Jalen Milroe. Some twisting inside. They don't get close to the quarterback. Catch at the 40-yard line, 4 yards short of the first down. Ryan Williams the catch. That's the 12th target of the freshman wide receiver in this first half. The rest of the team combined has 11 targets. He is clearly their #1 weapon. Cam Miller jammed down by Tyree West. And a timeout called by Tennessee. Josh Heupel wants the ball back. This team's known for their high-flying offenses at UCF in here, but not recently. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, good afternoon. Capital One halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Darren Orlovsky in studio. We take a look at some of the unbeatens as they continue. Miami getting the W. Army continues to roll. Navy looking very good. Indiana rolling. It's the opposite of this vibe in the first half. What do you see? Because this is ugly.
Well, if you're Tennessee, 2 missed field goals, 3 turnovers, you can't run the football, but yet your defense is balling. You got to feel pretty good.
And if you're the Tennessee defense, where is Ryan Williams? Because that's really the person that Alabama's trying to get the football to offensively.
He was the main target so far in the first half for the Tide offense. We will have plenty of highlights and conversation of this game and get you ready for Texas, Georgia. Back to you, Sean.
A great doubleheader of SEC action. This one and then number 5 Georgia, number 1 Texas. All 4 teams in the top 11. 3rd down for Alabama.
You anticipate pressure here from Tim Bakes and his defense. If I'm Nick Sheridan, I'm rolling the quarterback to the right, sprint out, and get Jalen Miller on the move.
Well, Williams, bottom of your screen, single covered for the moment. So they drop in his own coverage in his direction. Jeremy Bernard, they are going to give him forward progress, but it looks like it's about a half-yard short of the first down. And I would guess Kalen DeBoer is going to go for this. He said he's not always an analytics guy. He said, I've won a lot of games going with my gut. I have a feeling both his gut and the analytics say go for this.
I agree with going for it, but I'd let that clock wind a little bit.
Again, the old let's try to get him to jump offside. Robbie Oots The tight end shifted. Now they snap it. Milroe hesitated, but a timeout was called before the snap by Tennessee.
Timeout, Tennessee. Second and a half. Second timeout.
Well, Josh Heupel didn't like the way that was going. It worked out well for him because Milroe picked up the first down. You can see he's waiting as long as he could. View from the Progressive pylon cam. We see everything from the Progressive pylon cam. Officials.
And that was a good timeout, too, because that was a very similar look that Alabama utilized earlier on a 3rd and short where they went with a quarterback sneak, and Jalen Milroe nearly took it to the house because there was nobody home on the left side.
Tyree West is the injured player, part of that very deep defensive line. They rotate in 12 guys up front, which certainly helps. A big game, to put this in the big picture context for these two teams. Tennessee in particular, you feel like really needs a win here. They had an impressive win against NC State. They beat Oklahoma. Those teams were ranked at the time. Now they're not. And not a lot left to score points with the committee going forward. So this feels like just about a must win for them. Alabama does have the Georgia win on the resume.
They do. Alabama does at this point have a little bit more wiggle room. But for Tennessee, knowing that there's still a road trip heading to Georgia that is just sitting there waiting for him in a few weeks, this is one where you really feel like you have to have it to strengthen your resume and I think to just get you some confidence moving forward.
You a big believer in the always reliable all-state playoff predictor. There's the importance of the win.
Yep.
Alabama with the win, 86% chance to make it. So hard to know, right? We've never had this 12-team playoff before. You don't know what's going to happen around the rest of college football. Both coaches said this league is so tough, you're just focused on winning the game in front of you. 1:02 to go. They'll try 4th down and 1 again. Milroe runs under center. Quarterback sneak. Boy, it didn't look like he went anywhere from here. And I think it's going to be which official marks the ball. The far side spot looked better than the near side. And from that spot, it looks like a first down. Crowd booing. They don't like the placement of that ball.
Did look like he had a little bit of surge there. Right there, but where is the ball? That's the tricky part. You can see where Jalen Milroe's helmet is. You can see where his body is, but where is the ball? And from that look, you can't see it. From above, you can't see it, but
56 on the game clock. 5-6.
Crowd's booing. They want a review of the spot. They're not getting it. And the clock will run on the ready for play. They put 5 seconds back on the clock. A lot of the players just standing around at the snap. Milroe too high for Ryan Williams. Wow, this is getting bizarre if it wasn't already. Fans still booing. There were players on both sides who were just standing around as that ball was snapped.
Looked like Jalen Milroe was one of about 4 players that were participating in that play.
His look says it all. What is going on here? 10th play of the drive. They have moved the ball 32 yards. Milroe hit from behind. A flutter ball that falls incomplete. Dominic Bailey, who's been a presence in that backfield. 5th-year senior from Salisbury, Maryland, played at St. Francis in Baltimore.
And it was a really nice rush right around Caden Proctor. Gets a little bit heavy, and he forces the ball out very quickly from Milroe. And lucky that thing didn't flutter way up in the air and potentially get intercepted. If I'm Nick Sheridan, knowing that this pass rush is starting to tee off, I might just run it here. Because I think 3 points here is huge potentially for Bama.
Borderline field goal range. As you said, Nicholson's career-long 52. That was at Miami. He won the Lou Groza Award as the best kicker in the country last year. All day to throw. Now Milroe had to get rid of it, and it falls incomplete. Dominic Bailey again with pressure. C.J. Dupree, the intended receiver in the emergency situation. And let's see what Kalen DeBoer decides here.
This is a poor job by Alabama. It's a 3-man rush working against 5 along the offensive line. That's got to be a wall. And yet your quarterback, who's dropping back, taking a lot of hits so far, he takes another big one there because 5 against 3 and you still can't win. So very frustrating for Jalen Milroe and the inconsistency that he just got from his protection.
Kalen DeBoer wants a little more time to think about this decision. It would be about a 53-yard field goal. Nicholson last year made 27 out of 28 field goals to win the Lou Groza Award, including an NCAA record 25 in a row. Most of those numbers in the past. He's attempted only 2 field goals as a Alabama kicker in his first year from Cincinnati. Has made 1 out of 2. It looks like they're going to send him on. You like that call?
I do. I would have run it on the previous down, knowing the pass rush was getting home, to make this field goal a little bit more manageable. But I think you have to. I mean, the guy's got a Groza Award on his mantle. I mean, give him a chance.
Beat out Will Reichard with Alabama last year for the Lou Groza. The 54-yarder, that would be a career long by 2. No wind to speak of. That needs to go. Looked from here like the holder was spinning the ball around as Nicholson was approaching it. Burned up the punter as the holder, but that didn't have any chance. Maybe his legs got a little rusty with all the inactivity. You never see a kicker in this day and age who's tried only 2 field goals in 6 games.
It's wild, and that one, it just looked like the way it was spinning. I'm no kicking expert, but it looked like the way it was spinning, it was really undercut, like he hit it a little fat. I don't know what the deal was, but certainly a bad outcome for the Tide. And now Tennessee's got a chance. You'll see the laces were straight back. That's not match laces, has to spin it around, but still it's around in plenty of time.
It looked like he did a good job, the holder, spinning the laces away. It was just a mishit.
Tennessee now with a chance to score, steal some points, and get the ball to start the half.
Well, how confident is this offense? They might just want to take it to the house as Iamaleava is sacked by L.T. Overton. I think it's probably best here they regroup. The way it's going, Greg, it seems likelier they have a miscue than a success.
And they've already had 2 really bad decisions made, one by Nico, one by his backup. So I'm good here. Taking it to the half, regroup, settle your team down, you get the ball, let's put some things together.
This is the first time Tennessee has had 3 straight scoreless first halves since 1963, when they were blanked in the first half by Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, and Alabama. And this was a team that nobody could stop earlier in the year when they were loading up on lesser foes. Here's Molly.
I'm walking over to Kalen DeBoer right now. Coach, how is your team handling this difficult environment?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some plays that we're losing. The first down right there. We aren't taking advantage of our opportunities, and so you have to say that it is affecting us some. But we got to keep working through it. And there's times we get in a rhythm, it's good. But obviously, right there, we lost it down.
How do you continue to keep their quarterback uncomfortable?
Yeah, I mean, just execute, be on the same page. Everyone's got to get off the ball at the same time, and we've done that. For the most part, we've done a good job.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
His team +2 in takeaways, 2-to-1 time of possession advantage, but the penalties have been a killer. We'll send you to the studio for the Capital One halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The 3rd Saturday in October.
It's a tie game. Blocked. He got it. Don't take this opportunity for good.
There is everything on the line.
It's time to cut it loose.
Episode 107 on the third Saturday of October rivalry. The SEC on ABC, brought to you by Burger King from Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. At the half, Alabama leading 7-0 in a matchup of two teams that are in the top 3 in the SEC in points per game. A lot of those numbers built up early in the season against lesser competition. Tennessee 3 straight first halves without a point. First time since '63. Alabama 10 penalties, second most and a half in the last 20 seasons. At 11 in the first half at Texas in 2022. And Nick Saban's team rallied to win that game 20-19. Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy, a lot of these things that the coaches had to address at halftime, particularly for Tennessee on offense. What gets them going?
Well, you got to actually, you can't play much worse from a turnover standpoint, from a sloppiness standpoint, missing opportunities on downfield throws, and yet you're only down 7. So that's probably the message at the half to his young quarterback, but they really need to feed Dylan Sampson. Just 8 carries in the first half. He needs to be the featured player here early on.
Nico Iamaleava, an errant pass intended for Chris Brazzell. Here's Molly.
Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel's message to his quarterback Nico Iamaleava in the locker room was take care of the football. He was really frustrated with some of those overthrown balls in the first half and really stressed the importance of getting the run game going to take the pressure off of his quarterback. Now, Iamaleava suffered a left hip injury in the first half. He said he doesn't think that's affecting him.
Dylan Sampson, as Greg said, wasn't as involved as you might expect in that first half. He runs for 6. Of course, it was the same thing last week at the half against Florida. He was a non-factor, and then he really emerged in the second half against the Gators.
Big third down. First third down in the second half. To go 3 and out would be really painful.
He had 19 yards rushing at the half last week. Finished with 112 in the overtime win. Good throw and catch. Brew McCoy moves the chains. Their longest drive in the first half, in terms of time of possession, lasted 1 minute and 53 seconds. The longest one. They missed a field goal at the end of it. Deep throw. It is incomplete. Squirrel White was behind the defense for a moment. Waited a long time for the ball to get there. Keon Sabb nearest in coverage. And Josh Heupel's right in what he said to Molly at the half. They had some chances early on deep completions where balls were overthrown.
And Squirrel White really thought he should have had this one. He lands on that injured right shoulder. You see the wrap on his right shoulder, but it's right in his hands. It's pretty well defended, but when your quarterback's struggling and he finally gives you a chance, you'd love to reel it in. But White being tended to now, got to think that right shoulder continues to be a problem for him, and this unit has been really banged up.
Squirrel's a junior from Birmingham, Alabama. Had a big game back home last year at Alabama. 10 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown from Joe Milton. Keon Sabb also banged up and off the field, the transfer from Michigan in that Alabama secondary.
Both those guys just fighting through a lot of pain. So got to tip the cap to both of them. Not at 100%, but given that they're all here in the third Saturday in October.
A little more history on 3 straight scoreless first halves. It's only happened one other time in the SEC in the last 20 years. Mississippi State in 2020. Iamaleava, it's going from bad to worse for Tennessee on offense. Deontay Lawson took him down for a 10-yard loss.
And really nicely done. Timed it up on the blitz. You have in-breaker from outside in. That is number 22, LT Overton. Lawson comes and cleans it up. Campbell's there as well. Just really well executed on the pressure.
3rd down and 20. 2 out of 6 on 3rd down in the first half. And this crowd, which was as alive as a crowd could be to start the game, is very silent now. Iamaleava scrambling for his life across the line of scrimmage and tackled well short of the first down at the 37-yard line by Jihad Campbell. 9-yard gain. Tennessee will punt.
It's a good job by Alabama. Gave up the first down on the slant to Brew McCoy, but standing tall, forcing a negative play, getting him out of schedule and getting off the field.
Second punt for Jackson Ross. Cole Adams will try to return it, and he's tackled. There's also a flag down. It was the snapper, Matthew Solansky, who got down there to make the immediate tackle of Adams. Flag was thrown at the 20-yard line. There are two back around the line of scrimmage. 48-yard punt by Jackson Ross. Who had a career day at Alabama last year. Punted 5 times for a 53.2-yard average. Best day in Tennessee history for a punter with that many punts.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding on the receiving team. Number 15, also holding on the receiving team. Number 20. Number 12, excuse me. That penalty will be enforced at the end of the kick. It'll be first down.
I never know, why they pick me for number 12. Why don't you assess it on the other guy?
It's a tough spot to be in there for Xavier Mincy, the freshman corner. A lot of freshmen on these special teams units for Alabama. And now to start the second half, they will be deep in their own end with Tennessee's band about 40 yards to their right. A very loud section of the stadium that Alabama's operating in.
Pride of the Southland band. Big part of it makes the football experience here at Neyland Stadium one of the best in the country. Worst starting field position of the day for Alabama. From its own 6, Jalen Milroe. 15 out of 27 passing in the first half for 142. Gives it off to Jam Miller. He fights ahead for a pickup of 5 on first down.
That's going to be really important for Alabama too moving forward. Jalen, to drop back and to throw it 27 times against this pass rush, that's just not sustainable. They have to commit a little bit more to running the football between the tackles with Jam Miller and Justice Haynes.
They ran for just 14 yards in the first half. Jam Miller gets the first down.
Just takes so much pressure off the offensive line when you're committed to the run game. And this is a really, really solid offensive line. Parker Brailsford, one of the best centers in America. Tyler Booker, the left guard, future first-round pick. Caden Proctor is too. They just need to really trust those guys to move Tennessee off the ball.
Brailsford, the center, transferred from Washington, where he played for Kalen DeBoer the last 2 years. Well, the run game effective to start the second half. Jam Miller gets 7 more. The average is better than 7 yards per carry for the year. Came in at 7.1, leading the Southeastern Conference. Only 3 per carry today.
Similar formation to what they've run the last few plays. So probably looking at another run up inside.
Miller bounces it outside and has another first down. Taken out of bounds by Jeremiah Thielander, who's seeing more playing time today in the absence of Keenan Peely, their leading tackler, out for the year with a torn ACL.
Difficult job to replace Keenan Peely, who's the green dot, the signal caller, and really the enforcer there at the second level for Tennessee.
Thielander is a sophomore, played most of last week against Florida. Peely went down in the first quarter. Milroe, a nifty run, and it looks like another first down. It is. So they've moved quickly from their own 6 out to the 39-yard line after that 10-yard run by Milroe.
And not a single throw so far too, and really they've run very similar formations. 2 tight ends on the field. They'll stay in that 12 personnel with those 2 tight ends, C.J. Dupree and the big Robbie Oots at 275 pounds up at the top. Just continue to pound the line of scrimmage.
6th play, their opening drive of this half, all of them runs, and that one stacked up. just as Haynes second down and 10. Seven straight runs. And Haynes again, he gets 5. He's averaged 6.4 per carry for the year. The right guard, Jaden Roberts, hobbling a little bit. He goes down to a knee. And I don't think this is one of those injuries you're questioning, because why would you go down right now with your team with some momentum on offense? Jaden Roberts did walk off the field under his own power. He went straight into the medical tent.
He gets rolled up by James Pierce, who gets kind of thrown inside trying to make a tackle, and that left ankle just twists. It's good to see Roberts off on his own power, eager to get back in the game.
Gino Vandemark, a transfer from Michigan State, is in. He's played as a backup in all 6 games so far this year. Third down and 5. 8th straight run, comes up a yard short. Andre Turrentine, the safety, transfer from Ohio State, with the big stop. Oh, Kalen DeBoer going with his guts, going to punt on 4th down and 2 from just shy of midfield. But they did flip the field, moving the ball from their 6 out to the 48.
Yeah, I think they got to feel good about that opening drive. We're finally able to feel a little bit more balance with the run game being a high priority, and you flip the field. So good decision, I think, too, to punt on 4th and short.
James Burnip to punt again. Just did get it off. Fair catch made by Jermod McCoy at the 9. Here's Molly.
Well, Sean, Tennessee wide receiver Squirrel Wright couldn't fully lift his right arm to take off his helmet, but I'm told he is insisting on returning to this game. And Greg mentioned he's been playing through this injury for a while now. He is refusing to let it keep him off the field, guys.
Their leading receiver for the year coming in does not have a catch today on 4 targets. Had a chance for a big play there. This is the worst starting field position for Tennessee of the afternoon after the 43-yard punt by Burnip. Starts at the 9-yard line, do the Vols, with Dylan Sampson on the right hip, both Nico Iamaleava. Sampson straight ahead, and a first down, tackled in the secondary at the 22-yard line by Bray Hubbard, sophomore backup safety. Keon Sabb not on the field right now for Alabama. He was dinged up last time on the field. Iamaleava has running room. He'll take all he can get. Chased out by King Mack after a gain of 4.
That was just a broken play from the get-go, as Drew McCoy on the far side was signaling to the Tennessee sideline, trying to get a play. He didn't get it, and Nico had nowhere to go.
2nd and 6. Sampson, good bounce outside, has a hole. Sampson down the sideline and out of bounds inside the 40, shoved out by Malachi Moore. 35-yard run, biggest play of the day for Tennessee.
And really nicely done on just a full counter all the way through, and nobody's there on the edge for Alabama, and Sampson takes off. He's maxed out at 22 miles an hour. He thinks he can hit 23. Just impressive speed there.
Here he comes again. Knocked down by Deontay Lawson. We talked to the offensive coordinator, Joey Halsley, who is involved in the play calling, really a collaborative effort with Josh Heupel, about Sampson. He said what he loves is he's not just an outside runner, an inside runner. He is excellent at both. Iamaleava escapes several Crimson Tide defenders. Off and running and down inside the 10. They had him surrounded but couldn't get to him. 1st and goal, Tennessee. They'll mark it at the 9-yard line.
King Womack going with a similar pressure that dropped Nico a moment ago. This time they have some guys get home, but he breaks a tackle and takes off, and he's a terrific runner in the open field.
Looked like Jahad Campbell had the best shot at him. Play fake and a drop on a slant off the hands of Brew McCoy. Another missed opportunity, wide open receiver, and they can't connect.
Just a little bit out in front of Brew McCoy, but gotta think that your veteran wide receiver would reel that in for your young quarterback.
Fifth-year senior is McCoy, transferred from USC. Second and goal from the 9. Seventh play of the drive. This one's incomplete. Flag down. Jahad Campbell, the linebacker, was running in coverage.
Pass interference, defense number 11. Ball over the end zone. Therefore, by rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line and includes an automatic first down.
In a difficult spot to be in if you're Campbell, the linebacker, as Holden stays his full speed trying to beat him inside. He recovers nicely, but clearly grabs him around the waist as he crosses his face. So a good call by the official.
He was Holden Stays. Holden Stays, transfer from Notre Dame. Here's Dylan Sampson. Touchdown, Tennessee. Well, after doing virtually nothing on offense all day long, they go 91 yards on 7 plays. And now an extra point away from a tie. Max Gilbert. Sampson carried the ball on 6 of those 7 plays. And it's a tie. Well, it's Tennessee and Alabama. How about going back to some good old-fashioned running game?
And Dylan Sampson answering the challenge, 60 yards rushing on that drive alone as he ties it up at 7.
Third Saturday in October, tradition that dates back to 1939. The rivalry goes back to 1901. There's the Taco Bell Live Más student section all season long. Student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Finally, something to cheer for. 91 yards in 7 plays. 6 of them were rushes. 5 for 51 on the drive for Sampson. And Iam Aliava had the 27-yard run that got them down inside the 10. So we're tied at 7, 6.5 to go in the third quarter. In a very important game in the SEC with an eye toward the college football playoff. The Turbeville kickoff is a touchback. Here's our player check-in presented by Allstate.
And one thing, Alabama's going to be committed to the run game, so they're going to get some one-on-ones with Ryan Williams. This is the one-on-one against Jermod McCoy. Look at the eyes from McCoy. Just incredible with his eyes. Plays the back shoulder beautifully. Intercepts the pass with one hand miraculously. Then Jalen learns from it. He looks the other direction at Ricky Gibson. Throws it perfectly. It's not as well covered, and it's resulted in a touchdown. So it's really more about players over plays, taking advantage of favorable matchups is what they're going to do in the passing game moving forward.
Second possession of the half for Alabama. They had 7 straight runs on their opening possession. First pass of the half is complete. And it's Ryan Williams again for 13 yards.
Jermod McCoy, Ryan Williams, that's been a battle all game long, and Ryan Williams with his 14th target.
And his 7th catch. Nothing doing there. Jam Miller stopped by Caleb Herring. Listed as third-team defensive lineman. As we said, they go 3 deep across that 4-man defensive line.
Really important for Jalen Milroe here to get half of this back, make third down more manageable, and get the ball out.
Another clean pocket. All kinds of bodies tangled, and a flag thrown against Jermod McCoy, we think, as he got tangled with Jeremy Bernard.
Pass interference, defense number 3. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
McCoy's a very physical corner, worked in press coverage, man coverage against Bernard. Bernard's trying to break it to the outside, and it's a pretty easy call there for the official. But at some point, Bama's going to take a shot. They really haven't tried anything downfield. At some point, it's coming, and that one looked like it might have a chance.
Second pass interference call against the Volunteers today. From the 48 rather of Tennessee. Play action pass. Milroe wisely throws it away over the head of Jeremy Bernard. Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator, has been here all 4 years with Josh Heupel. Brought some pressure after Milroe's now 16 of 29 for 154. A touchdown and interception, and he's been sacked twice. There's Tim Banks on the right.
That's the teep shot right there. I mean, they had it called. It was max protect, and yet you still don't have time to get it off. Tennessee, one of the best in the country with the pass rush, have allowed just 7 attempts over 25 yards. It's the second fewest in the country because of how fast they get home.
Looked like there was movement, and there was along the right end of the offensive line. The big tackle Elijah Pritchett started to retreat before the snap, I believe.
Looked like the end flinched too.
Offside. Defense number 97. Movement by the defense caused the offense to react.
Okay.
5-yard penalty. Suck down.
Jason Jenkins also listed as a third teamer on the defensive line.
You see just that sudden flinch, and as a result, Elijah Pritchett just moved ever so slightly. That's a bigger penalty than you realize now, because 2nd and 5, you got your whole playbook available to you. Run it or throw it.
Third offside penalty against Tennessee. They've been penalized 6 times now and are helping this Alabama drive along. Kendrick Law. Kendrick Law belted down. And they're going to mark it at the 25. 18 yards on the play to Law. With one long play in the first half, he had a 20-yard catch and run.
The spot here, though, when Tim Banks starts to sense that his defense is reeling a little bit, he'll kind of jolt the system with a blitz and see if he dials up a little pressure against Alabama.
Milroe after the fake, following Oots. And dropped for a 1-yard loss. Jermod McCoy, not just a cover man, stopping the run play. And with all these runs on both sides, the third quarter moving by very briskly.
Tennessee's done an outstanding job all game long, really containing Jalen Milroe. At some point, all it takes is one crease, and he could take it the distance, but they have really kept him bottled up, and when he has taken off outside the tackle, they've tackled in the open field.
Second and 11. 4-man rush. All kinds of time. Open receiver and a first down. C.J. Dupree for a 12-yard gain. And there's a volunteer player down on the field, Jermod McCoy. And a timeout on the field with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Alabama driving in a 7-7 game. Tennessee's best cornerback, Jermod McCoy, limping off after he got hit in the lower back by the knee of the big offensive lineman, Jaden Roberts.
Usually when corner goes out, if I'm the offensive corner, I'm making a note of it. Jalen McMurray now is in, and he's up top against Jeremy Bernard. I'm going right at that new corner in the ballgame.
7th play of the Alabama drive, trying to retake the lead. It led 7-0 at the half. Flip to Law, and he gets buried for a loss. Did well to hang on to the ball. Of course, if it hit the ground, it would have been an incomplete pass. Joshua Josephs there for Tennessee. 3-yard loss.
Great recognition by Josephs. This is a play that Alabama ran really early in the game and had a ton of success out the right side. That time, Josephs recognizes it and drops it for another lost yardage play.
4 receivers to Milroe's left. One of them, the running back Haynes, who went in motion toward the line. They throw to the single coverage side. Williams was being held for a moment. Could see his jersey being pulled by Ricky Gibson the third. That's the 15th target for Williams. He has a career high 7 catches today.
I said it a moment ago. It might have gotten away with the tug of the jersey right there. Probably should have been holding on Ricky Gibson, but said got tacked that fresh corner. They moved Gibson to the other side, and they're just a play late where they could have had a big play.
That's 100% a penalty. Matt Austin, our referee, in agreement. 3rd down and 13. Jamon McCoy back on the field. Milroe will try it again into a crowd and incomplete. Threw a 50-50 ball. And it was Ricky Gibson who had the coverage. The sophomore, another Alabama native from Trussville. And another ball thrown into jeopardy by Jalen Milroe.
And it was a pretty good initial release by Ryan Williams, but he kind of stumbles as he gets beyond Gibson, who eventually catches back up and has it well defended.
So here's Nicholson, who tried what would have been a career-long 54-yarder in this direction and hit it fat in the first half. This is to put them back on top. 35-yarder. And Alabama leads 10-7. .58 yards. They moved it on 10 plays to set up Graham Nicholson. Time for the Aflac trivia question. The 1994 Tennessee quarterback room featured 2 Hall of Famers. Who were they? It's a little bit of a trick question. I think we both know the answer.
I do know the answer. A little bit too much of a baseball fan and a really big Peyton Manning fan.
Okay. Well, then we're not going to wait for the answer. Peyton Manning seems pretty obvious. Inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021. The other is here today. Peyton is not here, we're told today. Todd Helton, who was honored on the field between one of the stoppages in play. Great baseball player here, of course, went on to the Colorado Rockies, had a Hall of Fame career, was the Dick Hauser Award winner as the college baseball player there in '95. And elected to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 2024. Hit .316 for his career. 5 times an All-Star. It's the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Kickoff from Connor Talty is a touchback. So off their best drive, their only scoring drive of the game last time around. Will they go back and lean heavily on the run on this possession, starting from their own 25?
I think you have to. And Sampson, once he starts to kind of smell blood in the water, that's when he really gets going. And this offensive line started to open up some holes. I'd expect them to continue to really lean on the run game.
A collision out wide in front of the Alabama sideline has the fans oohing and eyeing. King Mack is down on the field for Alabama. Kalen DeBoer is out on the field hollering at the official nearest him and now at a couple of others.
And this is just it's a fake penalty. I mean, King Mack, number 5 at the top, goes in and then all of a sudden just goes down. I mean, that's a fake injury. I mean, he's not hurt. He goes down to save Alabama some time, but Kalen DeBoer is really frustrated with the officials not really allowing Alabama, it appears, to substitute. So that's seemingly what they're talking about right now.
Well, college football needs to do something about this. You know, the fake injury thing is an epidemic. You know, there's no rule against it. There's language in the rule book about it being unethical.
Legal substitution. Defense. Left the field, re-entered. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, that's a bizarre play. Let's bring in Matt Austin, see if he can provide some clarity. Matt, what do you think happened here? I think he's saying he should have been able to substitute. And Kalen DeBoer, a pretty mild-mannered guy ordinarily, has had enough of the explanations from this officiating crew. Matt, what do you think?
Well, Sean, I'm kind of at a loss because I never saw that if Tennessee substituted in the first place, where Alabama would have time to replace.
So
now,
here we go looking at that, Matt. I mean, it's the first play of the possession. They've just taken the field.
Correct, and that is a substitution. So they should have been able to match up. So I understand why he's upset.
Dylan Sampson runs. So what you're saying is even if the first 11 come onto the field to start possession and stay on the field, the other team can substitute if they want.
Correct, because you don't know what 11 they're going to send out until they get on the field.
So after a 13-yard gain on first down, a catch by Brew McCoy with a short one to the 41-yard line. Sampson went for 8 on the first play, and he's over 100 yards rushing again. Reminiscent of last week, he got stacked up that time. Last week, 19 yards at the half, finished the game with 112. He has scored the touchdown today for Tennessee. He's had a touchdown in every game this year.
You're on a 3rd and 6. I mean, I think you have to be looking in the direction of Brew McCoy. I mean, he's your most reliable weapon. He's got tough cover responsibility, knowing that Damani Jackson's one-on-one against him, and he's lined up inside. But this would be the direction I'd be looking, to my big body wideout on the outside.
Timeout called by Tennessee. The play clock about to wind down.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Probably a good timeout there by Josh Heupel too. Looked like blitz pressure. So get your quarterback feeling more comfortable about it.
Well, I'll go back to that substitution situation and the penalty called, 12 men on the field, and bring Matt Austin back in. So they did have the right to substitute. I guess the question I would have when we saw men running on and off and on and off, Matt, is how much do they need to be allowed in terms of substituting? How long could this go? How many people can you send on and off?
Well, it's the normal substitute. The problem is the referee never went into substitution mechanics. He never put his arms out in the iron cross to let the defense know that they now have time. So the coach was upset. He knows he should have had time to substitute. The referee wasn't aware that it was this, or wasn't calling it a substitution, though he should have. So I understand why the coach is upset. He went ahead and sent his players in to, I guess, prove the point that he should have had a chance to substitute. The reason they got the foul is one guy went in and then came back out, or went out then came back in. You can't do that.
They understand the frustration too. I mean, Kalen DeBoer is not usually a guy that's overwhelmingly animated unless he knows for sure that he is right. And I believe, like Matt said, that was poor mechanics by the officiating crew.
You know, he's upper Midwest nice from South Dakota. Both of these coaches are natives of South Dakota. The only two FBS head coaches of the 134 who are from South Dakota. Kalen is 49. He'll be 50 this week. He's 3 years older than Heupel. Long throw down the field. Caught! Dante Thornton Jr. down to the 2. With the freshman Jalen Mbakwe in coverage. A 61-yard play. They'll mark it at the 3. Tennessee hurrying to the line. Without substituting, so no substitutions by Alabama.
And they'll hand it off here.
Crowd boos. Alabama players standing over the ball. The officials tell them to get away and get ready. To the end zone. Touchdown! Dylan Sampson again. Tennessee leads for the first time today with a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Both touchdowns by Sampson. who now has 17 rushing touchdowns, adding to his SEC lead. He was 2 behind the national leader starting today. Ashton Jeanty of Boise State, the Heisman frontrunner. The extra point by Max Gilbert gives the Vols a 4-point lead. The offense was in the witness protection program in the first half. It has come to life here in the third quarter.
Well, they've been close on so many deep balls for the last few weeks, and they finally get one. Third down, 2 to take a chance to throw a low percentage throw down the field. That is a big-time throw from Nico Iamaleava, and so much trust from his coach, allowing him to do it. They pay it off a moment later with another big touchdown for Dylan Sampson, who just lives in the end zone, and Rocky Top is blaring here in Neyland Stadium.
Sampson at 15 rushing touchdowns through the first 6 games. That was the most in SEC history through the first 6 games of a season. He's added 2 more. A 61-yard pass play, just shy of the longest of the season for Tennessee. The long was 66. Josh Turbeville kicks off. Sophomore from right here in Knoxville. No chance for Kendrick Law to bring that back. Here's today's college football rankings, brought to you by Verbo, the big one tonight. Top-ranked Texas and number 5 Georgia. As soon as we're finished here, it'll be on ABC. Oregon a big winner earlier this week. Penn State and Ohio State idle. Miami wins again.
LSU needs to be very careful. Newly minted in the top 8, going on the road to Arkansas. Very dangerous team that Tennessee's very aware of, and in a rivalry game, be very careful if you're the Bayou Bengals.
They gave the Vols their only loss in Fayetteville. Milroe throws, caught. Ryan Williams spun down at the 30, a gain of 5. He has 17 targets now and 8 catches. The next most targeted wide receiver is Jeremy Bernard with 4. Clearly, Milroe looking for him time and time again with good reason. Bernard delivers a stiff arm, and it's effective, and a flag thrown, 2 flags thrown. Likely a face mask there as McCoy got engaged with Bernard.
Could be on Bernard, too. I mean, his hand was up into the face mask of McCoy.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 3. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Both guys all over the face mask. You see Bernard up into the face mask of McCoy, and McCoy up in the face mask of Bernard. And for McCoy, he's the one that gets caught.
I'm going to go right. Stay there. Stay there.
So the ball goes to the 48-yard line of Tennessee. Final 20 seconds of the third quarter. Milroe managed to get rid of it and complete it to Kendrick Law. And they got 3 when it looked like it might be a sack.
A tremendous play by Jalen Milroe. I mean, the right side of his offensive line, Elijah Pritchett. What a tough situation having to block one of the best players in America, James Pierce, one-on-one. Milroe somehow has enough strength to be able to get rid of the football to preserve a little bit of field position.
Milroe's pretty strong, 6'2", 225. Our presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Carson Beck warming up in Austin, getting ready for the showdown. The Georgia Bulldogs, number 5 against number 1 Texas, coming up as soon as we're finished here in Knoxville, where we are heading into the fourth quarter. Tennessee leading 14-10. On second down, long run, Jam Miller. They finally get him down at the 35. He got 11 on 2nd and 8. And he's a little slow to get up. Christian Charles made the tackle.
Really nice run there by Jam Miller. And this part of the field, 1st and 10, You got Tennessee on their heels just a little bit. This might be a spot where I'm thinking a deep shot down the field. Either a deep shot or a quarterback run here against what's likely to be an aggressive play call from Tim Banks.
Play fake by Milroe. Throws, open receiver. Jeremy Bernard inside the 10. Chased out by Andre Turrentine. First and goal at the 7 after a gain of 28.
Just a thing of beauty here as Jeremy Bernard beats Gibson immediately across the field. Really well executed, well designed, and a great throw.
Poised to take the lead, and they do. A walk-in touchdown for Justice Haynes.
Fucking go! Fucking go! Let's go!
7-yard run. Bama back up by 2 with the extra point to come.
What an answer by Alabama. Just a tremendous job by the left side of the offensive line. Caden Proctor just walling things down. A nice cut by Justice Haynes to go right behind his tackle. And he walks into the end zone. Just a tremendous answer from the Tide in hostile environment after Tennessee just took the lead.
Tennessee went 75 yards in 5 plays to take the lead. Alabama goes 75 in 6 plays to take the lead back. And the Graham Nicholson extra point makes it a 3-point edge.
Who took the lid off the end zone?
Yeah, they did.
I mean, there was a brick wall across the goal line. Things are getting going now.
4th straight game in which Alabama has trailed in the 4th quarter. Over the last 15 years, their winning percentage when trailing entering the 4th quarter is .517. They're 15 and 14 in those situations. Of course, that's not a lot of times trailing going into the 4th quarter, but when you have a dynasty team during those years, you're going to have the lead most of the time, but they can do it.
That right there, though, that was Jalen Milroe making a couple of great throws, the protection being rock solid, and then paying it off with the run game at the end. That was just about as calm and as cool as things can possibly be when it felt like the roof was going to come off this place after the touchdown.
Well, the first half wasn't very pretty, and it was 7-0 Alabama at the break, but this is now shaping up like another 3rd Saturday in October classic. 107th meeting all time. Palte's kickoff is short. Fair catch made by Cameron Seldon. The next stop on the F1 schedule is the U.S. Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. right here on ABC and the ESPN app. Pre-race coverage begins at 1:30. I was watching Game Day from Austin this morning. They pointed out that the race is only about 12 miles away from the stadium there.
Well, knowing Austin traffic, that's about 2 hours in the car.
Well, if you're in one of those cars, though, you'll get there very quickly. Brew McCoy chased out by Jalen Mbakwe. They got 8 on first down.
You have to wonder if that deep ball that Nico Iamaleava just hit, if that's opened up something with him on the downfield throws.
He's going downfield, wide open receiver, and he overthrew him again. It was Brew McCoy, who just had his 6th catch of the day for 80 yards on the previous play. Boy, when he's missed high, over and over again, deep.
Man, I love the play call by Heupel too. 3rd, 2nd and short, you get a nice gain on first down, and you just miss the seam. That's one that, man, you would just hope that McCoy would be able to maybe jump up and try to make a play on it. Man, that's when your quarterback just can't miss.
3rd down and 2, a big play here. Deshaun Bishop gets the first down with a 3-yard gain. Speaking of game day, I heard your former coach Nick Saban on game day this morning say when he coached Alabama, the Tennessee game was their biggest rivalry game. Bigger to the players than Auburn. Deep throw and an incomplete pass through the hands of Brazel. Not sure he could have caught it in bounds. That surprised me. He said that never had to get the players up for Tennessee. That wasn't always the case for Auburn.
Well, Tennessee is one that, I mean, is so big as players. It's so big for the fan bases, too. I mean, especially those that live in North Alabama, South Tennessee. It's just a massive rivalry, and one that's with such a storied history. And it's a treat, it's a privilege to have a chance to have played in it 5 times. It really is.
2nd and 10. I did also, with the remote watch you on SEC Nation this morning. Here's Nico Iamaleava. Close to another first down. And you said on that show you think both of these teams are capable of winning a national championship. Do you still think that based on what you've seen today?
I think they can. It's just about where do they go from here. Based on where they're at and how they're playing today, it's unlikely. But with the 12-team playoff, it might very well turn into the team that's playing best at the right time. So I think you obviously got to take care of business the regular season to get there, but it might be the teams that are peaking in December and January that ultimately pull off, and these guys are young. They can do it.
They converted on 3rd and 2 a moment ago. They convert on 3rd and 1. Bishop again. He's to the Alabama 45-yard line. 9 yards on the run from the redshirt freshman from right here in Knoxville. The pace picking up on offense. Low throw, diving catch, flag down at the line of scrimmage. They are ruling it a catch for Caleb Webb, his first of the day and 6th of the season if it counts. There have been 20 penalties assessed already. 13 against Alabama.
Illegal touching. Offensive 4. The player was covered up on the line of scrimmage by a teammate. Touched the forward pass beyond the neutral zone. The penalty is 5 yards from previous spot and includes a loss of down. It's now 2nd down.
And you could see Miles Kitzelman, he's covering up both guys on the line of scrimmage, which makes the slot receiver ineligible. So that's a good job by the official sorting that out with the tempo the Tennessee's playing. That one, it would be pretty easy to miss.
With the name Miles Kitzelman familiar to Alabama fans, he played at Alabama the last 2 years. Transferred to Tennessee this season. Still remains very close to a number of people in the Alabama program. Iamaleava given time, short throw. They get the penalty yardage back to the 45. On a completion of Holden Stays, the tight end.
3rd and long, and really might have 2 downs to get it here. If you are Josh Heupel and you're thinking aggressively, if you get 6 or 7 here, you might think about going for a 4th down. So not against a quick throw, against this pressure look from Alabama.
Option look. Big play for Bishop. And a flag thrown at the end of it. It's a first down, at least for the moment. Domani Jackson tripped him up. 18-yard run. It looked like there might have been a hold on the perimeter from one of the wide receivers for Tennessee, Chris Brazel.
Holding offense number 17. 2-yard penalty for foul.
That's a killer because it was not a factor in the play. They already had the first down.
And this is just really difficult. And it's outside right here. And they
maybe it is a factor. He might have been able to make the tackle.
Definitely. And he really had to hold that block forever. I mean, that's a really tough spot for Chris Brazel, but you'd like to think that as soon as that defender tries to unload, you would let go.
They do pick up 5 yards because it was from the spot of the foul. So from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 5. And that play is dropped for a loss. Sampson. LT Overton with the penetration. And a 1-yard loss. Justin Jefferson involved as well. So now on 4th and 6. Fans boo as the punter comes on the field with 10:45 to go.
Yeah, and if you're Alabama, you thinking, hey, be alert for a fake punt here, because this right here is fake punt all day long. So probably go punt return safe and keep your eyes in the backfield.
Jackson Ross, redshirt sophomore from Melbourne, Australia, is the punter. Cole Adams back deep at his 10-yard line. And it took too long to get it off. And these coaches are wearing out the nearest officials to them.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Josh Heupel's been in the ear of the line judge Chuck Rice as that was being adjudicated.
Now Alabama just ran on a whole new set of bodies getting their punt return unit on as opposed to their defense.
23 penalties combined. End over end. And it takes a great bounce. It'll be down inside the 3-yard line. William right down there to down it. Nice punt by Jackson Ross. You're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King. Alabama and Tennessee was a scoreless first quarter. First score of the game, Ryan Williams, a 5-yard touchdown catch from Jalen Milroe. After their 3rd straight scoreless first half, Dylan Sampson, couple of touchdown runs in the second half. In the 3rd quarter, there was a field goal sandwiched in between, and then Justice Haynes a moment ago put Alabama back on top. 1st and 10, tied after the good punt. Marked at the 4-yard line. Haynes across the 5, and that's it. Well, I'm a believer, Greg, in this Tennessee defense. They came into today 4th in the country in scoring defense at 10.7 per game. Texas, Army, and Ole Miss, the only 3 teams better, and they're legit.
They're really good, and they are deep, too. This is Alabama's 70th offensive snap, and yet the pursuit is relentless for Tim Banks.
Alabama with the ball in a 3-point lead. Milroe dives forward to the 8-yard line. Jackson Moy, the Stanford transfer, to the tackle. And another big 3rd down in a game filled with them.
And this is a massive one for Tennessee. Your coach a moment ago decided to punt, play the field position game to force a 3-and-out to get it back to your offense with good field position near midfield is enormous. So let's see if Tim Banks decides to kind of play a little more coverage. He's been aggressive. Let's see if he decides to drop out or heat him up again.
Alabama 3 out of 11 today on 3rd down. A stop here, and Tennessee should get it back with great field position. They bring pressure late. Milroe grounded one from the end zone for a safety last week. Got rid of it, and it comes up short. In the direction of Ryan Williams with Jamad McCoy in coverage.
Terrific job by Tennessee's defense. They ramp up the pressure again. It's well covered downfield. Jalen tries to make something happen by escaping to his right, and there's just nobody home. Just excellent execution from the Volunteers defense.
4th 3-and-out of the day for the Crimson Tide. James Burnup's 6th punt of the day. Short kick, but the deep man, Cameron Selden, is way back. Let it bounce. Fortunate for him, it didn't bounce very far. 45-yard punt. Tennessee down by 3. The Vols will start at their own 46 when we come back to Knoxville.
Your wallet.
The SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. You rule.
Dylan Sampson, 2 touchdown runs, but it's Alabama on a score by Haynes with a 3-point lead, 8:35 to go. Sluggish, to be kind, first half offensively for both teams. Alabama had the only touchdown on a Ryan Williams catch. There have been 23 penalties. But if you're striving for the positives, Alabama's had only 3 in the second half.
Only 23? Like more at times.
I feel like I was watching the Monday Night Football game the other day. I thought that was a lot, but I think we've surpassed the total number of flags that crew threw. Dylan Sampson, the running back. He's been a big part of the improved offense. Iamaliava kept it and slid to the 49-yard line of Alabama with a 5-yard pickup. This is the second best starting field position of the game for Tennessee.
I think if you're Tennessee, you stay committed to the run game. And I think now Nico's factor as well.
Running out of time and a low throw out in the flat for Sampson. Jeremiah Alexander brought some pressure.
3rd and 5. You're kind of in a bit of a tweener down here. Really 2 options for Josh Heupel. You can run the ball with Sampson. I think kind of like that too. Had a lot of room to the outside, or you throw it in the direction of Brew McCoy because he's your most reliable weapon, and he's had a very productive 3rd down run here to start the second half. He's lined up at the bottom of the screen.
I'm a little surprised 2nd and 5 they didn't stick with the run, which has worked so well in the second half. Up to 186 rush yards for the game now. Fake one way, throw the other, and it's too far out in front of his receiver, but there are flags down. Intended for Brazel. Domani Jackson had the coverage. Crowd thinks there was a hold around the 30-yard line, and they are going to be correct.
Holding, offense, defense, number 10. 10-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
Well, Ken Williamson's allowed to be off target once when he's had to call this many penalties. 14 for an even 100 yards now against Alabama. They're at the 39-yard line. Max Gilbert is a freshman, redshirt freshman field goal kicker. He's missed only 2 all year, but both from 53 yards. One of those today. Dylan Sampson spins down at the 32-yard line. Quay Rousseau made the tackle. 18 carries, 113 for Sampson. And there's Gilbert getting ready should he be called upon. Sampson again. First down, Tennessee at the 21-yard line. Mr. Iamaleava loves it.
It's rinse and repeat for Josh Heupel in Tennessee. I mean, they have Alabama on their heels. Hands are on the hips of some of these defenders. The run game is really starting to click. They got to stay committed to it.
Sampson patiently waiting for something to emerge. They had 44 rushing yards at the half. With that carry, they're up to 208 now for the game. Blown tire for Sampson. You know, the way they hurry up and spread you out, I think the perception of Josh Heupel's team has been that they're a passing team. But this is a head coach 6 years in a row. His teams have rushed for 2,000 yards or more every season.
Yeah, they run it religiously, and then they set you up with the big play downfield. It's very difficult offense to defend.
As Kane Womack said, they spread you out sideline to sideline really to run the ball. Sampson again. You're going nowhere, says Tim Keenan. Sellout crowd here, 101,915. One of the great venues in all of college football. The 6th largest stadium hosting college football in the country. Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas A&M, LSU, the only with stadiums bigger than this one. They asked for an orange out from the fans, and they've delivered. They've delivered the noise as well. 3rd down, 5. 5 out of 11 on 3rd down. Iamaleava, end zone, diving attempt, and it is caught for a touchdown. Chris Brazel puts Tennessee back on top.
What an effort by Brazel. The ball is perfectly placed. Does he secure it? Looks like he does. Ball's in the air. Got both hands on it. Ball moving just a hair, but I think he's got firm control as he goes to the ground.
I agree with you.
Just a tremendous catch by Brazel.
Transfer from Tulane. 3rd team All-American Athletic Conference last year when he caught 44 balls at 5 touchdowns. This will be his biggest catch as a Tennessee Vol if it stands. And he even caught it after King Mack grabbed his face mask for a moment, spun his head around.
Unbelievable.
But to your point, hands under the ball as he goes to the ground. And what makes me think, and there's a face mask grab. What makes me think it's a catch too is the official, the back judge on the back line. He has that view of it, and he deemed it a touchdown. And I think it's going to stand.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
That was a great drive for Tennessee and really set up by their defense by getting that 3 and out against Alabama's offense deep in their own end. They get great field position as a result, and they pay it off with a big touchdown.
I think Josh Heupel's pregame talk next week before Kentucky's going to say, let's treat the first quarter like it's the third quarter. Tale of two different teams, first half to second, week after week. Razzle the catch. Nico Iamaleava, his first touchdown throw of the day. Back and forth they go. The third lead change of this one on the third Saturday in October. Vols by 4. You're watching the SEC on ABC. One of the great rivalries in college football, Alabama and Tennessee, for the 107th time over 123 years. Tennessee didn't score in the first half. They've scored touchdowns on 3 of their last 4 possessions. They've missed 2 field goals today, both long ones. Josh Turbeville, the kickoff, will go for a touchback coming up next. And a tough act to follow, even though it's #1 Texas and Quinn Ewers against Georgia. The Horns and the Bulldogs. Who do you like in that one?
You know what's everything says Texas, everything, which makes me think Georgia's going to pull off a ridiculous performance tonight. I think Georgia goes in there and steals one, shockingly.
Can Alabama respond again? Not much on first down. Justice Haynes, the ball carrier, and a 1-yard gain. Omari Thomas there for the Tennessee defense. Alabama lines up quickly. Tennessee still milling around. 5.5 minutes to go. Milroe fires too high. He had Ryan Williams wide open near the 40 and missed him.
Just a big miss there by Milroe. I mean, Williams is open over the middle, and he's got plenty of space. You just got to drop that in there and allow your receiver to work. And a big third down now for Tennessee. This ferocious pass rush. Try and tee off. Keep an eye on number 27, James Pierce, working against the right tackle, Elijah Pritchett.
Loudest it's been all day, and that's saying a lot. Looked like Tennessee might have been offside. No flag. And Milroe down. James Pierce got there. Kalen DeBoer out on the field, wondering where's the flag. He certainly thought the Volunteers were offside.
It did look like he got a slight head start, but did he time it perfectly? Man, it looks like he's just barely in the neutral zone. It's a bang-bang play. One, I think you could call it. You could also leave it in your pocket. Very close.
James Burnett's punt allowed to roll, and it goes down to the 30. The snapper Neveland Hibbett down that 48-yard punt. Now it's Tennessee with the ball and the lead with 4:39 to go. Alabama in possession of all 3 of its timeouts. This has turned into, I'm not sure it's a classic when a game with this many penalties and turnovers and mistakes. But for excitement value, it's pretty hard to beat.
It is, and this rivalry just never fails to, it always delivers. I just love this game so much. But Right now, Alabama's on their heels, and Tennessee's run game here in the second half behind Dylan Sampson and this offensive line have really gotten going, nearly 100 yards in the second half alone. So Bama's got to stop the run here to give their offense another chance.
Dylan Sampson has taken charge here in the second half, tackled after a 1-yard run by Jihad Campbell. Kalen DeBoer, with this much time left, opting not to start using timeouts.
Got to think, too, if I'm Tennessee, I'd rather run it between the tackles. That's where Dylan Sampson makes most of his hay, and use some counteraction, but I want to hit it downhill so his speed and power can be emphasized, and you can maybe run through some fatigued defenders.
Up to 129 yards rushing for Sampson. He had 35 at the half. But he also had 6 carries at the half. He now has 23 for the game. Deontay Lawson stopped him. And again, Kalen DeBoer is going to let the clock roll.
Big decision here, too, from Josh Heupel. Do you opt to give it to your quarterback, who hasn't made a ton of starts, it's a 7th career start, throw it in a critical 3rd and long, or do you hand it off again and trust your offensive line and run game and your defense here on a pivotal 3rd down?
6 out of 12 on 3rd down. It's a middle screen, and dropped immediately is the tight end, Ethan Davis. By Bray Hubbard, a stop, a 3-and-out forced by Kane Womack's defense.
That is big time. I mean, this defense has taken a lot of heat in the last few weeks.
Would you use any of your timeouts here?
Not yet. No, I'd hang on to them. At this point, you never know. I mean, if your offense stalls again, you might need them to get off the field again. So I don't feel comfortable yet calling those timeouts.
Here's Jackson Ross. His 4th punt. They let the play clock go all the way down. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Cole Adams made a few miss and went out of bounds across the 25-yard line. Important that it's 4th down and 6, because if it's against Alabama for 5 yards, it still wouldn't be a Tennessee 1st down. They're over asking Kalen DeBoer about it, so apparently it's against Tennessee.
Illegal formation, offense, not enough players on the line of scrimmage. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the return, 1st down.
Well, the last time they had the ball, and there have been 24 penalties assessed, that one at the end of the run. At the end of this game, though, Greg, and let's bring in Matt Austin, it might be about a flag that wasn't thrown. Matt, what do you think on this play?
Well, I think the defender, he definitely started before the snap, and because he was so close to the neutral zone, I do think his helmet was offside when the ball was snapped. So this should have been a flag. It's hard to get. Sometimes they time it perfectly. I think they missed one.
All right. That is a wild throw by Jalen Milroe, nowhere near Justice Haynes. 2:21 to go, all 3 timeouts for the Tide. And a field goal really does them no good.
It's important for Jalen Milroe here, too, to acknowledge, hey, this pass rush is ferocious. But don't be afraid to use your legs. Your legs are a weapon in this scenario, especially when they're dropping deep in coverage. So don't be afraid to take off.
Play clock at 5. 4-man rush. Milroe retreating. Dumps it off. Justice Haynes down the sideline. Somehow they turned that one into a gain. Out just shy of the line to gain. It'll be 3rd down and a little more than 1. And the 2-minute timeout will happen before they snap it again. 2 minutes to go, all 3 timeouts. Alabama still has 61 yards to cover, fighting the balls in this sellout crowd. While we were away, John Allman in the replay booth took a look at the run after the catch by Haynes, and he stepped out of bounds across the 32-yard line, so they brought the ball back to the 33 instead of the 39. So instead of 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 7 for Alabama, down by 4 at the 2-minute timeout.
I think it's 4-down territory.
5-man rush, pressure up the middle, and it's dropped behind Kendrick Law. Tim Banks brought pressure, woofing after the play and some shoving. And there is a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. I don't think it was the post-play nonsense. There have already been 25 assessed penalties, which is the most you won't be surprised to know in an SEC game this year, and the most since 2019 when Auburn and LSU combined for 27 assessed penalties.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense number 1.
My goodness. And the down counts.
Just a terrible decision by Kendrick Law. Jawing at him, but he retaliates and punches and pushes, the defender right in the face, and that's going to get called every single time. Just a terrible decision. And now your offense is in an impossible spot at 4th and super long.
Well, we'll bring in Matt Austin in a moment as well. I mean, clearly Carter was woofing in his face and then took a swing that apparently missed. They're going to go for this on 4th down and 22 from their own 18 with all 3 timeouts left. Kalen DeBoer says, I go with my gut. Play clock running down, under 5. And a timeout called by Tennessee.
Carter snap, timeout, Tennessee. First timeout of the half.
Matt, I would like to go back because that's a huge penalty, obviously. Instead of 4th and 7, it's 4th and 22. Clearly, Law shoves Carter, but it's after Carter gets right in his face.
Please put 1 minute, 55 seconds. Thank you.
What happened to taunting?
Well, I certainly think in this case that offsetting fouls would have been appropriate. You're exactly right, Sean. He did get up. He did get right in his face. You don't know what he was saying. You don't know if it was actually taunting or not. But in this situation, because there was a retaliation, I would have liked to have seen him offset.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That's a very tough one to throw, especially where clearly Carter was right in Law's face.
He definitely was. But the decision here from Kalen DeBoer to go for it on 4th and 22. I mean, at the percentage chance of you converting 4th and 22 as opposed to getting a 3-and-out defensively, what's better odds? The way the defense has played most of the night, I would kick it here as opposed to going for it in a low percentage probability.
Analytics say go for it on 15 or less, kick it 16 or more. This is 22. But as we said, Kalen made a couple of decisions earlier this year based on analytics, didn't like it, felt bad about it after the fact. They bring pressure. It's a screen. It was a floater to Justice Haynes, and he does not get the first down. Got out across the 31, but needed the 40. Will Brooks there. They got 13 on 4th and 22. So now they desperately need 3 straight stops, use their timeouts, force a field goal try or a 4th down attempt by Tennessee, and hope they get the ball back one more time for a miraculous opportunity to win it or tie it.
And this is just a critical error by the freshman Ryan Williams. He's got to go block. And if he blocks and gets a piece of that guy, Justice Haynes can bust to the outside and potentially pick it up. I mean, it's like Ryan Williams is going to sleep thinking he might throw it to him, and he just completely whiffs on the block, which allows Tennessee to rally up and make the play. That's just a critical mistake by the young freshman.
Sampson goes ahead for about 4. Timeout called by Alabama. The Tide still with 2 remaining.
Timeout. Alabama. Second timeout this half. He's at 1 minute, 44 seconds. 1-4-4.
You would expect more of Sampson, would you not?
I don't know how you could possibly justify giving it to anybody else. He did have the fumble earlier, but he's been your workhorse all game long. 16 second half carries, 100 yards in the second half. I think he absolutely has to touch it at least 2 more times on this drive.
Tale of 2 halves, as was the case when they rallied last week to beat Florida. Each team with 1 loss, both 5-1. Critical game in the SEC race and with an eye toward the 12-team college football playoff. The numbers would indicate Tennessee needs the win more. They really don't have a win right now against the team that's currently ranked. NC State and Oklahoma were when they beat them, but not anymore. Oklahoma is fading fast. Sampson wrapped up. He got 2. And there will be a 3rd down and 4. Tim Keenan, in the middle of that defense, led the way.
Alabama, their second of the half. Please put 1 minute 40 seconds on the game clock. 1-4-0.
This will be an interesting play call from Josh Heupel here. 3rd down and 4. You're already in field goal range. You're not going to take any unnecessary risks. But one thing that teams have used time and time again against Alabama this year has been the shovel pass. And that's something that Tennessee has used repeatedly over the years, and it's been very successful for them. I know it's a pass. I know you run the risk of it potentially being incomplete, but you also have a chance where you could crease it. So if you don't hand it off, I'd strongly consider the possibility of a shovel pass here if you're Tennessee's offense.
And if they're stopped and it's 4th and short, it'll be interesting what Josh Heupel's decision would be. Would he go for it after Alabama has used its last timeout, or would he try to take a 7-point lead on the foot of the redshirt freshman kicker who's missed 2 long field goals today, both from 50 and beyond? 6 out of 13. The ball's on 3rd down today. 3 out of 5 in this quarter. The 1st down and it's ball game over. In all reality, and they don't get there. Good job by the Alabama defense. Malachi Moore, the safety up there. Timeout. 4th and 2. What are you going to do, Josh?
Timeout. Alabama. 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
What would you do, Greg McElroy?
I'd kick the field goal. I know my kicker has already missed 2 already, but the defense has been playing really, really good. Put them on the field and let your star pass rushers see if they can take over the game. So I'd kick it, see if you can make it a 7-point game, and then let your defense try to win it for you on the field.
The analytics say go. And that's at 4th and 1 on the graphic. It's a long one. It's almost 2. Max Gilbert has had the 2 misses today from 50 and 53. But for the year, he's 11 for 11 inside of 50. And they are sending him on the field to make it a 7-point game. It'll be a 41-yard try. And you forget sometimes how young these people are. And so you see the headshots or the pictures inside the helmet. Redshirt freshman from Memphis. Good for him. Right down the middle. It's a 7-point game with a minute and a half to go. But hope for Kalen DeBoer and the tie, because had they gone for it and gotten it, definitely game over. You know, we saw this last week. You mentioned it in real time as we were watching the Alabama game against South Carolina. They had a 3rd down conversion late in the game on the first snap from the 2-minute timeout. Had they just gone down in the field of play, I believe it was Jeremy Bernard, the game was over.
Right.
He scored. They led by 7. It gave South Carolina another chance. They went down and scored.
Yeah, and almost had a chance too after the onside kick recovery to have some mayhem. But these moments right here, I mean, these moments from Tennessee's pass rush standpoint, this is why you come to Tennessee, to see if you can end the game with a big sack. And then from an Alabama standpoint, This is why you go and play for the Crimson Tide, to have the chance down 7 in hostile territory to go and see if you can make a memory. Just a remarkable game and a huge opportunity for both sides.
Turbeville almost always a touchback. You know he doesn't want to give Kendrick Law a chance to return one. Law would love to have a chance to do it after his costly post-play penalty. It's a touchback. So they have 75 yards to go in a minute and a half. When they led all night against Georgia, then squandered the lead in the fourth quarter, it was the play that will be remembered forever when Milroe went to Ryan Williams for 75 yards in the game-winning touchdown.
Tennessee needs to be aware of where number 2 is the entire drive. And the big thing for the offense here, you got to get the drive started. A positive play on first down increases your odds of scoring exponentially.
Williams has been targeted 19 times. Jalen Milroe fires, and it is intercepted! Will Brooks picked it off! Second interception thrown by Milroe, and that one will wrap it up for Tennessee. A huge play by Will Brooks, the Birmingham, Alabama native.
And Will Brooks' eyes are in the backfield the entire time. He sees it. He sees Jeremy Bernard crossing face, throws behind Bernard, and Brooks reels it in. It's a good pass rush as well. Just a big-time play by Brooks on the errant throw from Jalen Milroe.
His second interception of the year. The first one he took back 85 yards for a touchdown in their rout of North Carolina State. So after the win against Georgia, when they were the talk of college football, rose up to number 1. A stunning loss to Vanderbilt, a very narrow and harrowing win at home against South Carolina, and now just their second loss in the last 18 meetings against Tennessee. They are lighting the cigars, as is the tradition in this rivalry. And apparently no age restrictions on that.
Just a remarkably gutsy effort from Tennessee. Nothing going offensively in the first half. Finding something in the second half by way of Dylan Sampson getting going. Nico Iamaleava finally hits a couple throws downfield. And their defense all game long, just relentless pursuit of Jalen Milroe.
So now Alabama with work to do going forward. And a much needed win for Tennessee to go to 6-1. They won't snap it again. Huge win for Josh Heupel in his 4th season here in Knoxville. And some of the fans coming out onto the field. First time that Alabama has had more than one loss entering November since 2007, which was Nick Saban's first season as head coach of the Crimson Tide. Coming up next, we are just getting started, friends. Number 5, Georgia. Number 1, Texas. They have a tough act to follow. Final score, Tennessee 24 and Alabama 17. Now for Molly McGrath, Greg McElroy, our great crew, led by Scott Johnson and Phil Dean, Sean McDonough. So long from Knoxville. We'll send you to Austin after these messages.